I think that this movie gets so much unnecessary. I think this is the most unnecessarily hated movie of the MCU. So Carson, we got a big day that I know neither of us really care about coming up. What, tomorrow? No, you said Sunday.
Sunday.
We're recording this a little bit early, which is why things have changed since last week, and we'll talk about that a little bit later. But Sunday will be the Oscars. I
Yeah,
do care about the Oscars more than other award shows, but that's just because they make us think we're supposed to care about the Oscars more than any other show. And so I guess by proxy I do. I still don't really care because we already did our favorite movies of the year, and that's the
right,
me that matters.
right.
Obviously, we didn't rank every category that the Oscars has, but I also don't really I don't need I don't like ranking actors because that kind of feels like I don't know, that feels weird.
Right.
But if we wanna run through some of the Oscar nominations and maybe so let's start with so we're going based off the Oscars website with the nominations, so it'll just be the not the order in which they're read, but, like, the order in which they're here.
Right.
Um, the odds for Timothy Chalamet to win the leading actor role, because that's the first one on at least in Vegas, are the highest, but not by much. I think it's literally, like I think he's at, like, 46% and Michael B. Jordan's at, like, 43%.
Yeah, here's the thing. I want Michael B. Jordan to win. Obviously, Sinners was my favorite. Here's the thing that I've seen a lot. I've seen people say that Michael B. Jordan's going to have a clean sweep. Sinners is going to clean sweep the Oscars. I don't
No.
know because they
No.
won the last award ceremony, so I feel like they're going to want to give more awards to other films. That's just usually how it works in Hollywood. Like it
Well,
doesn't
one
actually mean if your film's better or not. It just determines based like, okay, well we gave all the awards here to this film. We're going to give some awards to this film. I think Marty Supreme's kind of due at this point.
Well, Marty Supreme's, like, barely won anything from what I know. It's been Sinners versus One Battle After Another, which I didn't like One Battle After Another. I've talked about that before. I
Yes.
don't think it's necessarily a terrible movie. Part of me does, but that's a conversation you can go watch our review on it to get my thoughts on that. But One Battle After Another has been sweeping more than Sinners has at, like, Critics' Choice and in a few other of the award shows. So a lot of people are leaning more towards Sinners versus One Battle After Another. Now, I don't think Leo has won any of the Best Actor awards yet. Like, I know Timothy Chalamet won. I think it was Critics' Choice. I think Michael B. Jordan won one or two. Um,
DiCaprio won leading actor for Revenant, but it's the only time he's ever won an Oscar.
no. I mean specifically in this award show for One Battle
Yes.
After
No,
Another.
that's usually how it goes with DiCaprio. DiCaprio gets nominated every year for something, but then never gets never gets picked to win.
I
That's
mean, no
that.
offense to Leo, this isn't his best performance, and he
No.
isn't the best performer. Like, I want Timothy Chalamet to win. I've talked about that before. I talked about it during our Marty Supreme review. I want Timothy Chalamet to win this. I would not be upset if Michael B. Jordan won this. I wouldn't. Now, I do want to make it clear. I think people are hyping up Michael B. Jordan's performance a little bit too much. Specifically, and let me make this even more clear. I think people are giving him way too much credit, specifically for he played two roles. Okay, cool. Dove Cameron played two roles on Liv and Maddie. Did she win an Oscar? Like,
Yeah, but
that whole thing, people have been playing two roles and playing them perfectly and differently for decades. People have played five roles in one movie. So I think saying, "Oh, he did a good oh, he did it better." He didn't do it better than anyone else. There are better performances of people playing two roles. Michael B. Jordan gave a very good performance. He gave a phenomenal performance in Sinners, but I think people are giving him credit in the wrong areas and focusing on the wrong aspects of the performance. And that's where they're losing me in their arguments, where they're like, "Oh, he
the
has to win. He played two different roles." Shut the fuck up. So has so many other people.
correct. Other people have the difference between this and a bunch of other roles, and this is where I do kind of agree with people. Not so much so in like this is a granted, I don't think any of these are like transcending groundbreaking performances. I think they're all phenomenal, but there are a few out there that I would say that's a groundbreaking performance. I don't think any of these are absolutely groundbreaking. The reason why I think they all find Michael B. Jordan so impressive is because yes, he played both Smoke and Stack and whatever. That's not the point of it. The point is that there are nuances when you watch this movie, and I'm not the only one who says this. I've heard other people say this too, and like break it down, and I've seen it as well. That's why I know so much about this. There are nuances between different characters. So yeah, they're twin brothers, so there's similarities, and obviously it's Michael B. Jordan, so obviously he's gonna look the same. But there are subtle nuances in each character that flesh out each different brother so incredibly well, and that's what people point to. I don't think that's a thing that should also be driven home by any means. That's not like a factor. Like just because you add like different nuances to two different characters doesn't mean that that should warrant all the hype and praise. So I agree with you to a certain extent. It's overhyped. That being said, if that's what sends people over the edge and what is garnering people's attention, that's not something to fault or blame either.
No,
Um,
I'm not saying like, oh, he did a bad job or this isn't something to be praised. He did a really good job. There was nuance to it. I just hate that people are acting like he's the first and only person to ever do this. Like, literally, I've seen people who are
oh
acting like
yeah,
this is the first person who's ever done this.
yeah.
And I'm like, guys, shut up. Please, you are hurting your own argument for what is objectively a really good performance. Also, I don't think Michael B. Jordan's the star of that movie. I don't think he gives the best performance in that movie. He doesn't. Like that's my other argument with Sinners is Michael B. Jordan to me isn't even the lead of the movie and doesn't even give the best performance in that movie. Funny enough, the person who I tout as the lead and gives the best performance is in the best supporting actor category. So we'll talk about that when we get to that category. But I think that Michael B. Jordan will probably win. Um, I don't think Timothy Chalamet will, but I do hope that Timothy Chalamet will. At the same time, though, he has performances that will he'll have another shot. He'll have another shot.
Yeah, DiCaprio always gets other shots. And let's again, I think with DiCaprio, as much as DiCaprio is my favorite actor of all time, I want him to win it more than anybody. I think that there are 15 other films I can name. Oh, okay, not 15. That's extreme. There are like 5 other films I can name that are significantly better than this that he was nominated for and then never won.
Mhm.
I mean, he's really good here, but again, this like if he doesn't win it here, I wouldn't be upset because there are other roles that he didn't win for that I feel like he should have won for. The outlier here
Yeah.
for me, and the one that scares me the most, is just because we haven't seen the film, is Ethan Hawke and Blue Moon. I've heard so many great things about that performance, and there's a chance that he could absolutely win the award just based on that. Not that I care all that. Again, it's the Oscars. I don't really care all that much, but like he's the one person on this list where I go, I've heard so many good things about that performance specifically. I really want to see what happens with that.
Funny enough, I haven't heard all that much about Ethan Hawke's performance in Blue Moon. Like, I've heard about it, but I haven't heard that much hype. The one I've heard the most hype about that we haven't seen on this list is Wagner Mora from The Secret Agent. I've heard wonderful things about his performance in that movie I haven't seen, a movie I know you haven't seen, but I've
Right.
heard like spectacular things. I don't think he's gonna win it, but I do want to point out, like, I mean, it's a strong category. It is. Also, I did misspeak moving on to the actor and supporting role category, and
Yes, I know you did.
I misread the name.
I wasn't
Um,
gonna call you. I wasn't gonna call you out.
Delroy Lindo was really good in Sinners. He's the Sinners actor who was cast in supporting role. He obviously isn't the lead. He very much is supporting. I do think he gives a phenomenal performance. Unfortunately, Sean Penn is in this category. And as much as I hate or don't enjoy One Battle After Another, Sean Penn is the best. He is. He gave the best
Uh,
supporting performance
it,
in
it,
the movie.
it's down to three. First off, Delroy Lindo. I liked his performance as Sinners. I don't know why he's on this list. It should have gone to the actor who played Sammy. I think that he gave a much better performance. I also know that's who you were talking about too.
Yeah, Miles
Um,
Canton. I'm actually upset. He actually won an award at a really recent award show, which I'm very happy for him. I'm upset he wasn't nominated for an Oscar.
it should not have been Delroy Lindo. I love Delroy
He
Lindo in
did
this film. It's
again.
mm-mm.
I get that Michael B. Jordan is Michael B. Jordan. He is the star. Miles Canton is the star of this movie. I'm sorry. Step aside, Michael B. Jordan. Miles Canton. Literally, he ends the movie. Like, it is his
No. It's
story
it's his
more
story.
than Smoke and Stacks. And the fact that he isn't touted and given enough praise for his performance, like, actually upsets me way more than anything else on the Oscars is like I had Sinners like in my middle ground, but definitively the best part of that movie, Miles Canton learned to play guitar. And I know that's not like a new thing, but like he played guitar real well. He's a fucking amazing singer. Beautiful performance. I've never seen him in like anything before. This is his
Yeah.
first breakout leading role, and he does unbelievable in it. He is so captivating. He
Yeah.
brings so much heart to the performance. And the fact that he wasn't nominated in, I don't think, any category for this, I am double checking myself here. Yeah, he's not in, like, yeah, that upsets me. It really does. And I just,
It could be song. No, because that's Ludwig. That's the score, original song.
it's
I
nominated. It is. The
I
Sinner's song is nominated,
it
but that
could
doesn't go to
be.
him. That goes to the writers. He sung it, but that doesn't go to him.
Yeah. Um
But
yeah, but
out of the best supporting role, I give
it's
it to
Sean
Sean Penn.
it's Sean
It's
Penn.
Sean Penn.
It's Stellan Skarsgård or Sean Penn. I didn't watch Sentimental Value. I've seen clips from it. Stellan Skarsgård looks incredible in that film. He gives what looks like a phenomenal performance, but I think it's Sean Penn locked. I loved him in One Battle After Another. I think that's an easy. When I saw that movie, I went, no, it's Sean Penn. Like I think that's the standout. I think a runner
No
up.
offense, get Benedict, get Del Toro out of here. He
Why
gives
is
a
Del
good
Toro on this list?
performance.
He's
Del
really
Toro
good.
should not be in this list.
Why
Give
is Del
this
Toro
Miles
on here?
Canton. He's not a supporting actor. He's a leading actor. But like, get Del Toro the fuck out of here.
Miles Canton or any of the actors in The Long Walk, for example?
Yes. Oh my God. The fact that The Long Walk has gotten like 0 nominations for me. It was my favorite movie of last year. It's on my favorite movies of all time list now, like top 10. I know that this movie didn't get as much hype as everyone else, but people were giving this movie really good ratings. And the main reason is the performances. The fact that The Long Walk has gotten 0 nominations across any award show is so upsetting. And then you have Del Toro in here. No offense to Del Toro. He gives a good performance. Get him the fuck out of here. Please. Yeah. Anyone from The Long Walk gives a better performance than him. Anyone. I'm sorry.
Let's see here. Actress in a leading role. Okay. I think this one's also clear, but also let's be honest and be completely fair here. We didn't see Sentimental Value. We didn't see If I Had Legs, I'd Kick You. We didn't end up watching
none of
Hamnet.
these, except
for Begonia, and then I saw Songs on Blue. Both of those are very good.
But it's going to Jesse Buckley for Hamnet.
It's going to Buckley. Just everything pointing towards it. It's Buckley. I don't think we need to really debate that fact.
Yeah, I really want to watch Hamnet. That's one of my biggest regrets from last year is not seeing it when it was in theaters. I'll probably watch it on streaming when it comes to streaming because I've heard nothing but amazing things. And it was on the docket at one time to review on the podcast, but then there were other things around the same time, and it just fell through. But I've heard amazing things. I love Emma Stone in Begonia. She gives a good performance. I don't think it's Oscar worthy necessarily. No. I think it's good.
Plemons' performance was Oscar worthy, in my opinion. I don't think Emma Stone's performance was Oscar worthy, but she was very, very good in it. Let's see here. Oh God, actress in supporting role. I'm going to get this one out of the way. I said it earlier. I liked the performance. I thought it was fine, but was easily the one that confused me the most of why it was on here. Tiana Taylor for One Battle After Another.
Get her out of here. Get her out of here.
You can
get her out of here.
Please put Emily Blunt.
Thank
or the
you.
Smashing Machine. Put her on here.
Thank you.
That makes more sense.
Emily Blunt gives a generational performance in that movie. I'm sorry, she trumps all the other performances in this list. And I haven't even seen some of these movies, so I guess I can't speak for the Sentimental Values one. Right. But I've seen Sinners, I've seen One Battle After Another, and it's like God, she gives such a that scene where she has the gun up to her head, and like the emotion and them holding it, like it's so good. Yeah. And I wasn't even the biggest fan of Smashing Machine. I thought it was a really good movie, but I wasn't praising it from the hilltops. But her performance in that movie is so goddamn good. And then you have Tiana Taylor in this, who has 10 minutes at most of screen time. And you're like, oh, well, 10 minutes is a lot if you look at other 10 minutes of like a 3-hour movie. Yeah. She's barely, and I think 10 minutes is being generous. I think she's probably in it for like 5.
Well,
she's not supporting shit.
And let's be honest here now that we've gotten that out of the way. Congratulations on your Oscar win, Tiana Taylor, because she's clearly going to
God
get that award.
damn, I hate it. I hate it. Again, I want to make it clear. I mean no offense to any actor for the most part. I can't make any promises. Oh no, this is the end of the actors character. Yeah, I mean no offense to any actors that were nominated. Congratulations. You gave good performances. I don't think there are any bad performances on any of these lists. But when there are other movies that had generational performances in them, again, go back to The Long Walk, go back to Smashing Machine, movies that got nowhere near enough praise for how good they were, and they get ignored for, like, Sentimental Values has 2 nominations on here. I haven't seen
Correct.
Sentimental Values. It's probably phenomenal. But you have two on here, and you have Tiana Taylor on here. Make room for other people. God, this is why I hate the Oscars. This is why I have no respect for the Oscars. I'm sorry. I really do.
It's how we get Zoe Zadalia nominated for Emilia Perez, which I thought was not a very strong movie. I'm sorry. If you like that movie, good for you. I didn't think it was great, and I also don't think that performance was, generational either. I think that was the, you have one every year. That was the one last year I went, that's straight up Oscar bait, but they're going to give it to it anyway because it, was apparently it was very, very popular with some people.
Are you ready for me to? Sorry, can you finish your sentence?
No, I'm pretty much done. I'm just looking at the other categories because I'm like, okay, animated feature film.
Are you ready for me to get really pissed off? Like unreasonably pissed off?
Yeah, go ahead while I'm looking at this. Go ahead.
Why is Elio nominated? Why? Chainsaw Man. I didn't even like Demon Slayer all that much. I thought it was good. Demon Slayer is better than Elio. Elio's a good movie. Get it the fuck off this list.
Yeah,
Zootopia 2, K-pop Demon Hunters, good movies. Have heard 0 people talk about Arco. Don't even know what that movie is, other than I saw it on AMC come up a few times. Amelia of the Rain, I've actually heard a shit ton of hype for, and I want to watch that movie. I think it's a French animated film. Heard a lot of really good things. I will probably watch that movie one day. Get Elio the fuck off this list. It's only here because it's a Disney Pixar movie. Chainsaw Man is the best, and it is my favorite animated movie of all time, probably, if I thought about it.
If you think about it, sure.
So good. I know you loved it, and you're not even an anime fan. This movie was so goddamn good. It was better than every movie I've seen on this list by a country mile. K-pop Demon Hunters is gonna win this, but like,
it could be Zootopia 2, or it could be
it's K-pop. It's K-pop Demon Hunter. It is. Zootopia 2 is the closest to winning, but it's K-pop Demon Hunters. Zootopia 2 is the second highest grossing movie of last year, I think, behind Neisha 2. It's one of the highest grossing animated movies of all time. K-pop Demon Hunters was a movement in society. It was.
Fair enough.
But I'm so like,
I know.
The Oscars has lost my respect decades ago. Like, so long ago. This just icing on the cake at this point. Like, it's so infuriating. It really is. And people can be like, "Oh, well, it's a foreign film." The Oscars love to suck the dick of foreign films. Hell, Arco and Amelia of the Rain are both foreign films.
Right.
One's a French film, and I don't even know where Arco's from, but I know it's not an American film. It's probably also French or Spanish or something. K-pop Demon Hunters is an American film, but it's K-pop. It's a Korean-influenced film. So you can't be like, "Oh, well, it's Japanese anime." Okay, you love to suck the dick of every other country and every other foreign film. There's a foreign film category of the Oscars. Chainsaw Man isn't nominated for that.
Yeah.
It blows my mind what the shit that they can get away with, and yet the actors and directors still stroke each other off thinking they are the best and did the best when they didn't, and they might deserve, and they might have made good movies, but if you're having to objectively say this is what we think is the best, or this is what the best is, you can't have Elio on this list and not have Chainsaw Man or Demon Slayer. Again, I don't think Demon Slayer deserves to be on this list. I don't, but it deserves to be on this list more than Elio.
Yeah. Let's see. Let's get past animated short film because I don't.
Yeah, I haven't seen that.
Let's get casting, but I think that's pretty obvious. I think that's probably
It's either One Battle
Oh,
or Sinners. It's either one battle.
I think it's easily Sinners. I think that's easily where that's gonna go.
Marty Supreme was good, but I don't think like the supporting cast was really good, but I don't
It's
think
not
the
as good
Sinners
as
like
Sinners. Sinners was
it's not
so
as
well
good.
rounded.
We
Sinners was
haven't
well
seen Secret
rounded.
Agent and we haven't seen Hamnet,
I
so
would say Sinners. I think that makes sense.
yeah.
Cinematography, that one I would say one battle after another. I think
Yeah.
that's
I think
easy.
Marty Supreme has some really good cinematography. I think One Battle After Another is I don't want to call it inventive necessarily. I think that word gets
It's creative.
overused,
It's
but
creative.
it's good. It's probably the strongest. I think the only one that tops it, and I know this is this is the only conversation. It is Sinners, but it's specifically Sinners for that one shot. That
Yeah.
one shot in Sinners, the music shot was so goddamn good. And it was more
Um,
than just the cinematography that made it good, but the cinematography was really good. And the way and the behind the scenes of how they shot that and all of that, like
let's see.
I think costume design,
Yeah,
um,
I think that's Frankenstein. I think that's realistically what
probably.
that would make sense.
I'm
Again,
shocked to see Avatar Fire and Ash on here when that's all blue suits.
yeah, that should be
That
visual
actually
effects,
shocks
not
me.
that should be
It's
visual
winning
effects,
visual
not.
effects. It's winning visual effects.
I'd be very
But
down. I would kill whoever's in charge of the Oscars if it didn't.
yeah,
Directing. This is one we can actually talk about quickly. Because there, oh god, I I wanted to go to Kugler. I'm being honest here. I think Josh Safdie has earned it. I think he's earned it more than Ryan
thank
Coogler.
you. I'm so glad you said that because I thought you were about to say Paul Thomas Anderson.
No, I
Um,
do like Paul Thomas Anderson in this movie, but I think Josh Safdie has earned this
he's
award.
not winning it. I'm telling you that. It's between one bat based on the other award shows. It's One Battle or Sinners. It's either Kugler or Anderson, but I hope it's Safdie. I do.
It could also be Chloe Zhao for Hamnet. Chloe Zhao, she's just incredible.
Could be. I
I could
haven't seen it, so I can't talk about it all that much.
I
But I
could
will
easily see that.
say again, if we're going based off of the other award shows, it's not winning. It's either One Battle or Sinners. I want it to be Safdie, but
Let's see here. Let's get
we
past
can skip
that. Let's
documentaries.
skip film editing.
Okay, I just want to say,
Go
I'm gonna
ahead.
talk about editing really quickly. I know it's not gonna win,
Oh, but
and I
F1.
know it's not the best movie of the year.
Mm,
I do hope F1 wins this because I think that movie is edited really well, especially since a lot of the shots are like actual F1 races.
yeah.
I know that's more than just editing, but the sound design, like I think there's also a sound design category. But like the way that that movie comes together as a whole is really strong. I'm not necessarily saying it's better than the other movies, but I'm just saying that I'm very happy that F1 was nominated because
So
I think that is
actually
an overlooked movie that had
I
really strong
disagree.
editing.
I disagree with you. I think it actually has the highest chance to win film editing because similar
Really.
to Top Gun Maverick, which also I think won film editing, it blends everything super well together. I think that the
Mhm.
shots and the scenes and the sounds and all of it come together so incredibly well. Not saying they don't in these other movies, but I think F1 just does it the best. I think that has the highest chance of winning. Again, I wouldn't be surprised if it loses. That's my mind, but I think that there's a very strong chance that it could. Let's see here. Oh my. Okay.
Yeah.
Wait. What? Okay. I take back the costume one. That's going to Sinners because they have makeup and hairstyling here, which is going to go to Frankenstein.
Fair enough. I don't even know what Kokuo is. Um
So
I'm
I don't know.
surprised that Smashing Machine is on here. I'm not like I think it was good, but like I'm just a little surprised that wasn't one that like stood out to me for
Uh,
hairstyling and
no,
makeup.
it's because of Johnson's like nose bit, in which he was basically unrecognizable. If you didn't know who The Rock was, you wouldn't know that that was The Rock. Um, that's why I would guess that's on there. Um,
Original score is going to Sinners, and I hope it does.
I
That
think that
score was
that makes sense.
fantastic.
Okay,
Original
song.
song. Here's the thing.
Ooh, that's rough.
It should be I lied to you. It should. It's going to be golden, and
Yep.
everyone already knows it.
Yep.
Um, again, it goes back to the whole K-pop Demon Hunters versus Zootopia 2. Zootopia 2 made more. It was more popular. Technically, K-pop Demon Hunters is and actually technically we don't know because K-pop Demon Hunters was a on Netflix release. It's not a one-to-one comparable. Technically, it could have been just as popular in terms of like viewership and things like that and it was more of a cultural movement than Zootopia 2.
Yeah.
Golden is like the song. Gotta be golden. Ah. I don't think it's here's the controversial opinion. It's not the best song in K-pop Demon Hunters. It's not even close. It's top 5 maybe, but it's definitely not number 1. Um but I understand why it's nominated. It's the song from that movie. It's
Sure.
going to win. Only thing that's nearly close is I Lied to You from Sinners. And I haven't
I
even
don't.
seen the other movies, so I guess that's kind of unfair to say. But the fact that I haven't heard the songs from those other movies tells me that they're not popular enough to win.
Yeah. Okay. Here's the category that this is actually this is really good. Begonia.
I
Like
have
these
no
are
problem with any of the movies on this list, honestly.
Begonia, F1, Frankenstein, these are all like A+ films, pretty much.
Oh yeah.
Begonia, F1, Frankenstein, Hamnet, Marty Supreme, one battle after another. I look at you for that because I know you don't agree with me on that. We didn't see Secret Agent, but I'm going to trust it. We didn't see Cinema Value. I'm going to trust it. Sinners, and then I heard really good things about Train Dreams as well.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
I mean, it's either One Battle After Another or Sinners. Like no one else even needs to be nominated. Like I hate that I have to say that because I don't want it to go to One Battle After Another. It's won like every other award it's been nominated for in terms of Best Picture at all the other award shows.
Yeah.
I have my problems with the movie. I won't harp on them again. I'm gonna keep saying that. I would love it to go to Marty Supreme, but it's not even in the running. Like it is nominated, but if it's not One Battle After Another, I hope it's Sinners because it has the next best chance. If it's not either of those, then yeah, please give it to Marty Supreme. I love that movie so much. Out of the three, it was my highest in my top 10, but at the same time, I would the only one is I'd love to see The Long Walk nominated on here. It was a fucking amazing movie. It was my favorite movie of the year. It was your third or second. I think it was your second behind
It was my second behind
Sinners.
Sinners.
Yeah. But like I think overall, give it to Sinners. It deserves it. If it's
I
please
think
give it to
that
Marty Supreme, but it's not gonna get it.
congratulations, Sinners,
Yeah.
on your Best Picture Oscar win. I think that category is a lock.
I don't. I really don't. I think
it's a
that it
lock.
could no, again, every other award show nearly has gone to One Battle After Another. And that's same voting parties or similar voting pools have all gone One Battle After Another. I think you're
Yeah.
giving too much. I think it's a higher chance to go to One Battle over Sinners. I just hope it goes to Sinners. Again, I wouldn't be shocked if it goes to Sinners. I'm not saying I'm like locking it in like it's definitely One Battle After Another, but I would not be at all shocked if it went to One Battle After Another. Production design.
I was about to say that like Best Picture is like the last real big one beyond the like original screenplay and
yeah. Production design. I don't really. I have a hard time with that one. Maybe Sinners. I thought Marty Supreme was really like all these were good.
I'll be honest. I closed my tab. Is Frankenstein nominated?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah,
I'm gonna give you a few more. I'll read them off just because I want to talk about them. I'm so glad to see F1 in sound. That sound experience.
That's winning.
It better win. It better win.
That is 100%
so goddamn good. Love Sinners. Thought it had great sound. F1 is leagues better. It is
100% winning sound.
If visual effects doesn't go to Avatar, Fire and Ash,
just out of curiosity, what are the other nominees for that?
F1, Jurassic World Rebirth.
No.
Which here's the thing. We can shit on that movie all we want. In fact, I thought we were going to be like aligned with everyone when we said we weren't the biggest fans of that movie. I was higher on the movie than you were, but people loved that movie, and I didn't think it was like why.
I didn't think it was the worst thing ever. It just wasn't.
No, you did. When we reviewed it, you shit on that movie hard.
Maybe I need to rewatch it then.
Hated on that movie.
Maybe I need. I have an emotional attachment to Jurassic Park. Maybe I need to rewatch it again. I kind of scrubbed that movie from my mind. I'm going to be completely honest.
The Lost Bus and Sinners. It better go to Fire and Ash. It will go to Fire and Ash. Writing adapted screenplay. I want it to go to Begonia. It's Begonia, Frankenstein, Hamnet, One Battle After Another, and Train Dreams. It's going to One Battle After Another. I would love to see it go to Begonia, but
well, on that list, I prefer Begonia. I want Begonia to win something, and I think that's
yeah,
probably the best
exactly. And if it's
option.
going to win anything, I think this is a stronger one. Best original screenplay is the last one. It's going to Sinners. It better go to Sinners. If it doesn't, Marty Supreme is my pick. It's Blue Moon. It was just an accident. Marty Supreme, Sentimental Values, and Sinners. It's
Yeah,
between Sinners and Marty Supreme for me. I would love it to go to Marty Supreme, but it's going to Sinners, and it deserves to go to Sinners.
yeah, yeah. That would make sense.
Yeah, it's a strong year for some, but at the same time, I hate the Oscars, and I will always hate the Oscars. I think they are a piece of shit. I think that they don't know what they're doing. I think they snub things, and it pisses me off. But you know what does piss me off more than that? Carson. Because what's up, Nimrods? It's your boys back with another episode of the Nerdy Nimrods podcast, the only podcast on the internet where your two favorite Nimrods talk all things nerdy. I'm your host for today's episode, Brandon, aka Parrotfish, here with my forever co-host
Carson, aka Juggernaut.
and the reason why I had that little transition in here is because today, instead of talking about a movie that I really want to talk about, which I'm still going to give a review for. It'll just be me. There will be no back and forth, but I will still give a review on it. We're not talking about Undertone. Carson is an idiot. Carson is leaving for a cruise. We're recording this a day earlier than normal. He has to finish up schoolwork. It's fine. He still could have seen the movie. But anyways, we're not going to harp on that too hard. We are talking about two different things. One, actually both not unexpected, completely unexpected. We're talking about War Machine, which is the new Alan Richardson movie on Netflix. That'll be the first thing that we talk about. And then our second thing is not first, but our first in a long time non-review. Because the only two really big things that came out this week were Undertone and I wouldn't even say a War Machine, like War Machine was even that big, but it is a movie that released. So we're talking about it, and we needed something else. It was supposed to be Undertone and War Machine. It isn't. I will give my review of Undertone first, and then we'll go into War Machine, and then we'll go into an MCU tier list. We're doing something a little different. It'll be fun. We have talked about the MCU before. In fact, I think it was episode 1 or episode 2.
It was like
I think it was
episode
episode no, I think it was episode 1 because I think episode 2 is when we started our introductions with our top fives. I think
That's right.
episode 1 was our thoughts on the status of the MCU, because that was there was a lot of turmoil. It was right after, like, our podcast started like 2 weeks after Brave New World dropped, or like a week. It was like super soon after Brave New World. So like a pseudo Brave New World state of the MCU. I have my Loki shirt on in spirit for the MCU tier list that we're doing. I'll give a preface to what we're including and what we're not including when we get to the tier list, because there may be some things that upset some people, but we'll get to that later. Before we get to anything, though, Carson, how are you doing?
It's been a long few days, packing, getting everything together. I'm excited. In just a few hours, I will be about as cool as a cucumber, drifting away at sea, pina colada in hand, not a care in the world. So
yeah,
I'm excited.
I will also give this warning now and at the end of the episode. Next week's episode will be probably a day or two late. Carson will be on the cruise when we typically record. But we'll talk about that more at the end of the episode when we talk about what we're reviewing.
Right.
I am doing both great and terrible.
Yep.
I'm doing terrible because Tom Holland is now married. The love of my life, my hubby. Congratulations. Genuinely congratulations to him and Zendaya. But at the same time, I'm so sad. Carson understands my obsession with Tom Holland. Like, I had so many pictures of Tom Holland saved on my phone growing up that, like, the Apple thing created a human being. Like, it's like it creates people when you have enough photos. Like, it did that for Tom Holland. The name of my cell phone since I was, 14 or younger, I don't even remember, has been Tom Holland. So if I ever airdrop someone something, it's Tom Holland is airdrop. Like, I love Tom Holland. He is my Spider-Man. He is a phenomenal actor, in my opinion. I think that, like, genuinely, he's just an amazing person as well. And I'm genuinely happy for him, but also like, come on, man, I was right here the whole time.
You just had to look to
Um,
your left and, notice that you were there.
exactly, exactly. I'm definitely not as attractive as Zendaya though, so I understand. Um, but I'm doing great because last night I went to a concert. I went to an artist that I'd be. Do you know who I saw? Did I mention it to you?
You mentioned you were going to a concert. You didn't mention who you were seeing.
You've probably never heard of them before, and maybe you've heard of them in passing. I went to go see Baby No Money in concert.
Okay.
Do you know who Baby No Money is? Have you heard
Not
of
a
them?
clue. Never heard of
Nope.
them.
Very famous on TikTok. Has some really good songs, dude. It was so much fun. Also, I want to give shout out. I've already doxed myself enough, so it's no doxing to say where I saw him. Um, I saw him at the Anthem, which is the like mid to small sized concert venue in the DMV. Excuse me, sorry, in the DMV area, dude. That was the best concert staff ever. Like, so I got there like 2.5 hours early. I was like super ahead in line. I was on the gate, or technically I was like one person behind the gate for the concert. Um, they were handing out, like, they kept us hydrated. I've never been to a concert before where they just handed out cups of water throughout the whole concert to make sure that we were staying hydrated. Like, I've never seen that before, but like that was dope. Like, I want to give a shout out to the Anthem staff because like genuinely that was so appreciated. As someone who like I literally have already finished my drink of water and it was full before we started. I drink a lot of water. So, and I because I get dehydrated extremely easily. I run very hot, I sweat a lot. So like that was very, very appreciated. I want to give a shout out to them. Also, shout out to Baby No Money. I love Baby No Money. I love him for his personality. Dude performed with a pinched nerve in his spine. He pinched a nerve in his spine at a previous show, I think in Philly, like 2 days ago, and still gave a super high energy, amazing performance, like absolutely amazing time. I don't think his songs are like the best songs ever. They're definitely very internet trendy, but I'm also chronically online, so I enjoyed it. If you like Baby No Money, and you get the opportunity, it is an absolutely it's Internet Explorer tour. Highly recommend. Absolutely worth it. Also, another reason why we're recording this on a little bit of a weird schedule. Not as much as Carson's cruise ship, but I will be at Awesome Con this weekend. Awesome Con will basically be over by the time this goes up, but Awesome Con, local convention up here in the DMV area. I'm super excited. I did have to pick going to this over MegaCon just because of the timing. Also, GalaxyCon Richmond is next weekend. I will not be there. Like they put all the conventions too close together, and I have a problem with that. I get like, oh, it's convention season. Of course, all the conventions are happening. Spread them out a little bit, please. Like there are months where there's no conventions. Put one there, please. Do that. Don't put them all on top of each other, all in the same few weeks. It's miserable for me. But yeah, I'll be at Awesome Con. I'm very much looking forward to that. That'll be this weekend. But before I go to the convention, we have to record this episode. So I will go ahead and give a spoiler warning. My Undertone review will be unspoiler. There will be no spoilers in my Undertone review because I want Carson to go in unspoiled. That's the main reason. I typically don't care as much about spoilers, but I do want Carson has said he does as much as I show. He does want to see the movie. It's a timing thing. It's the cruise thing. It's a homework thing. I understand. But Carson is going to go see the movie. Unfortunately, we can't just, oh, why don't you just review it together next week? We have the first 3 episodes of Invincible and Project Hail Mary next week. That'll take up a long amount of time. So I'm just going to give my Undertone review now. Maybe Carson will give his Undertone review next week. We probably won't still do that much of a back and forth. But I'm going to go ahead and give a spoiler warning for everything else that we review. Which is really just War Machine. Also spoilers for the whole MCU, because we'll definitely be talking about spoilers for the MCU.
It's gonna get heated. I like the part of the reason why I also was like MCU tier list is because first off, we've been saving it for a rainy day. Like we knew at some point we were gonna have to pull this out of the closet. Secondly, it's gonna get really heated when we get down to like the nitty gritty of like this has to be higher, this has to be lower. I won't live in a world where this is higher or lower. So
It'll be interesting.
It's gonna
It'll
get
be
fun.
interesting. But I'll go ahead and get into my Undertone review. If you do not know what Undertone is, it is the newest A24 horror movie. And it's really funny because I'll state this a million times before every time we review a horror movie. I am not a horror movie fan. I do not enjoy seeing horror movies most of the time. I had a fun time with Scream, but that's really like, I also actually did really enjoy Black Phone, but I don't like putting myself in a position to be scared. Just not, I'm a pussy, plain and simple. Don't really need to put it any other way. That being said, Undertone's really fucking good. Undertone is so good. It is like the audio, yes, is really good. It's the scariest movie you'll ever hear. That's the like tagline for this movie. I think it's way more than that, though. I think the audio design is phenomenal and legitimately had me scared to go to sleep the night after I saw the movie, and the night after that. I was terrified the entire way through the movie. But I hope people give enough credit to the cinematography of this movie. The cinematography in this movie is perfection. It is literally the it will not get nominated at all this upcoming year for cinematography because it's too small. But I think the cinematography in this movie is perfection. It is horrifying. It is haunting. There's a point in time, actually multiple points in time in this movie, all you are doing is staring at a black screen and listening to audio. And you might say, oh, well, that's the audio experience. No, it takes a very bold cinematography choice to just let the audience stare at a black screen and have no visuals going on whatsoever. And it was horrifying because you're having to imagine what is happening. You don't get to see it, and it's terrifying. The acting in this movie is amazing. There's only like one on-screen actor the entire time. It's an actress. I wish I could remember her name off the top of my head, but she gives a amazing performance. Like really, really strong. You can feel the terror. You can feel the emotion raw out of her. It is extremely strong. This is a movie that I would highly recommend to see in the best audio format possible. I already talked a little bit about the audio performance. It is genuinely amazing. It really, really is. It's a horror movie about a podcaster. They listen to some audio files and they have to figure out what's going on. The story is really good. I do think the story is where this movie loses a few, like not a few points. We don't score things on this, but it is a good story, and it does definitely force you to put the pieces together yourself. It is a slow burn, which is ironic to say for an hour and 25-minute movie, but it is a slow burn. I think that I've seen a few reviews of this, and I try not to base my thoughts on reviews, but I do just want to call this out. There have been people that are talking about like, oh, there's points in time where it feels like it's dragging and you're just like sitting there. Guys, you don't understand what the point of those scenes are. The point of those scenes is, one, to build out the characters, and two, to let you sit and make it feel dragged on, to build up tension. That's like the whole point of slow burn horror and dragging things out, is to give you time to feel at ease as you know that there's this looming building terror. Because for me, those slow moments where nothing's happening are the most terrifying because you don't know when the next horrifying thing is going to happen. I think that overall, it is an extremely strong movie. I think I have it at number 4 on my movie ranking list of the year so far, which is super unexpected for someone who doesn't enjoy horror. I will never watch this movie again. I actively wanted to walk out of this movie multiple times because I was so scared. Like legitimately, I actually almost said, Carson, we're not reviewing this movie anyway because I'm going to walk out of this movie and not finish it. I know people are going to be like, oh, it's not this guy. I'm a pussy. I've established that. I don't like horror. I don't like being scared.
It's true.
It's probably
It's
not the
true.
scariest movie ever. I know it's probably not. But overall, I think as a collective piece, it is an extremely strong movie that I highly recommend anyone who is a horror fan to go see. That's my thoughts on Undertone. I won't go too much longer on that because I'll get into spoiler territory.
Very nice.
I never mind. I already talked about that. But yeah, no, good movie. Makes some really bold choices that I really, really liked. Highly recommend. Now into a movie that we'll talk about. Yeah, we'll talk about.
Well, we'll,
Um,
we'll, we'll, we'll talk about it. I mean,
I'll go ahead and kick it to Carson for War Machine.
I mean, it's about as fun as it can be, I guess. But it's pretty generic, kind of. I think the hardest part of this film was trying to figure out if they didn't, here's the thing, if they didn't have the stupid patches on with their numbers on it, I'd have no idea which one of them was which anymore. The only one I could remember was obviously Alan Rickson and Wally West, who, what the heck is Wally West doing in this movie? That came out of nowhere. That was funny to me because I recognized him immediately. It was like, that's Wally West from The Flash. What the heck is he? What's it? 60? Number 60. Okay. Yeah. I know who this guy is. No, I'm being a little harder on this movie. Look, this movie is not like, it's not bad. This is about, but like I'll say about it, it's about as generic gets. It's, fun to watch if you're not looking for anything. If you don't have anything particular to do on a weekend, you're looking for something fun to watch. It's got heart. It's got a little bit of character, not so much from everybody else, but it's more so from Alan Rickson's character himself, because he's, got PTSD and the spoilers again, death of his brother and this and that and everything that happened here. And now it's all coming full circle for him. And it's him learning to be a leader, which is what they're trying to make out of him. Well, at the same time, I guess the lesson that everybody else is learning, even though it's not real, like it working as a team, I guess. The actual concept for this is cool. And funny enough, is even though it's generic, I kind of want to see a sequel to it that builds out and fleshes out this world more, purely because the world they're playing in, I wasn't expecting them to play in. I thought this was just going to be a generic army movie. And then all of a sudden, this big, massive robot comes out and starts attacking. I go, oh, what world are we living in? What is this? Finding out that there's more of them and whatever. I don't know. I think the actual idea for this film is cool. I'm not going to harken on it too much. Very fun, very solid, but mostly generic. And if you walked into watching Sinners after this, you wouldn't remember that this movie existed. You would only remember Sinners. I think that's just fair to say.
I mean, you're comparing apples to oranges.
I'm aware.
Yes, if I went in to see Chainsaw Man versus watching your nephew's art school project, you'll really like, yeah.
Sure.
War Machine is the perfect dad movie. I think that's the easiest way to put it. War Machine is the movie that your dad is like, hey, I want to watch a movie. You want to watch a movie together? What do you want to watch? Watch War Machine. It's good. It has good acting. I will say, I'm glad you went in not knowing the concept. I hate that the marketing was so heavy pushing on the actual War Machine, not even the title of the movie, because you could have thought that the War Machine was Alan Richardson, and I feel
That's
like
what
that
I
could have
thought.
been
Yeah.
I feel like that could have been a really good subversion of expectations in terms of oh, we think the War Machine is just out. Oh my God, there's a giant alien spaceship. Oh my God. They spoiled that in literally the first trailer. And I only saw the first trailer because I arrived early to a movie and they showed it in theaters. That's the only reason that I even knew that. And I don't like watching trailers, and I fault trailers all the time. But I'm so upset that they did that, because I feel like it would have been so much of a better movie if I didn't know that it was a giant alien spaceship that was going to be attacking them. I think that acting's really good from Alan Richardson and the ensemble cast. I do think there's some really strong CGI with the War Machine, and I think that's where they put all of their CGI budget, because I think the other scenes that have some visual effects, specifically certain green screen moments, don't look all that good. That's just kind of the case with modern movies. You'll have some really, really good CGI. You'll have some really, really bad CGI. I think overall, again, the best way to summarize this, it's a good dad movie. You want to turn on a war movie. They are definitely going to make a sequel. I think they might have already confirmed, or at least talking about it, to flesh out the world and go into the war with the war machines. I think that's really interesting. Overall, good movie. I have some things I want to talk about in the back and forth that I want to get your thoughts on, but I think overall, good movie, fun time.
Yeah, again, I mean, and again, I'm not being negative on this film, but it's the perfect dad movie. It's generic. I still want to see a sequel because the actual world they kind of set up is very cool, and you could actually open the door for a sequel that could work. But there, again, even Alan Rich's character, with all the character development and arc that he has, it's okay. It's not anything new or whatnot.
Yeah.
But I will say this is very much a him type of movie.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And I think the thing that I was worried about with this film, and again, this film isn't necessarily bad. I actually could probably go as far as to say I think I may have liked this movie more than Cold Storage, maybe.
Oh, yeah,
Um,
absolutely. I have it higher than Cold Storage on my movie
I
list.
think I like it more than Cold Storage, but it's always a bad omen for me. There's only been a few movies that I've seen him in that I actually liked, but when Jai Courtney's in a movie, it's usually a bad omen because he's the last actor in like the line of the fence that you usually pick for your movie. So whenever he's in this movie, and I'm like, okay, he's doing a good job, and then they kill him, I'm like, oh, okay, maybe this is okay. Maybe this isn't about Jai Courtney. Maybe he's not going to be in this. It's strange to me. Not that he does a bad job. Jai Courtney, I know, is a very nice guy. But it's his movies don't end up usually being that good. The only one that I saw that I really enjoyed was a film that came out last year. What was it called? Something Killer. He played a serial killer that basically like captured people and then fed them to sharks because he had like a shark fetish or something. I don't know. It was actually really good.
Interesting. I have a few negatives I want to get out of the way. I've already talked about the CGI. I don't want to harp on it too much. Bad
Yeah,
green screens, it's a problem. I think the pacing of this movie is definitely interesting, mainly because I knew about the War Machine, and I think that's a big fault of it. But like the first 20 to 30 minutes of this movie is literally all montage, and like I
yes,
don't say that like exaggeratorily. Like no,
it's
it is. You start the movie with a little bit of a flashback, and then it's just nonstop montage for like literally 20 minutes. And
this. Yeah, this film starts off, and then it's not like 40 minutes in the War Machine finally shows up. Maybe I'm
yeah,
being pushy on that. It might be more like 30, but like it's a long while before the actual like machine comes in to do anything. And again, I didn't know about this ahead of time, but once I figured it out, I went, oh, so what is it? Is this movie just them on the run? Why did we take so long to get to this when we could have already established this?
yeah. I think that I really wish I didn't go in knowing that, but at the same time, I do think that if I didn't know that, I would have lost interest way sooner, just because
Sure.
like you're watching a
Sure.
montage for like
Yeah.
30 goddamn minutes and you're like, "Oh my god, what are we doing here? Why are we just like it's not a bad montage and I get why it's
Right.
there. Like I get that they need to set all this stuff up. I get the character motivation side of things, but like I don't know. You could have done it a little differently, made it a little more interesting.
Oh, well,
Another negative. Oh, did you have something you want to say on the pacing?
not necessarily pacing, but it kind of factors into a negative that I have, which you also might have. I mean, some the characters are, I guess, better than some of the ones in Cold Storage, but even still, like, there's nothing
So
to some of these characters. It's once again just more people who are cannon fodder.
that
Again,
was my complaint. That actually was exactly what I was about to say. They kill way too much. I get that they're trying to it's kind of a horror movie to an extent in terms of like
yeah,
a slasher, we're killing everyone. I think you lose a lot of the heart and character motivation to this movie with the fact that only Alan Richardson and Seven survived. I feel like that takes away a lot of the motivation and like the whole victory that he's supposed to have is like, oh, I wasn't able to make it across the line with my brother. Like that's his whole thing. Like he has a star to remember the worst day of his life, and I all thought all that was really good. But I think the fact that he was only able to save one person out of the nearly 20 that he went in there with, dude, you still did a shit job. Like, I feel like they just killed two. If you have too many people, then it isn't just his success, and he needs to be the one to carry him over the finish. I get all of that, but I do think it kind of detracts from that overall message when
yes,
all of your other characters, that mind you, are pretty interesting and are fleshed out in their own little ways, and they're all unique, and I enjoyed them, and you kill literally every single one of them.
yes, yeah, and it's not in the same vein or sense that like the long walk is where they're but granted that's the whole point is you're watching these people actively die
And they have a
to
reason to
and
die.
they
Like, you
they have a
know they're
reason to
going
die,
to.
but still even in that movie, and I this was a complaint I did have about long walk, is like you do have people who have development and you have people who just have like one noted things, which you can't really like dispute that fact when you have like 30 people in this film. Some of them can't get as much development as you want. I get that, but like, okay, let's use a better example. And this one, I could get flamed for whatever. The original Predator movie, which is pretty much the same plot of this. You have something that's hunting after these men in the army. They don't know what it is. They got to figure out a way to stop it. They still have more development in those, or in that movie, than they do in this movie with these characters. And they actually had names. They actually had names.
Yeah, here they're
In
literally just
Predator.
numbers.
Here
And they
they're
make a
just
whole point of
numbers
that at the
that
beginning.
right. And so that also adds to the fact of, oh, these are clearly just can fodders. They're nameless people that mean nothing. That would have meant a lot if they had numbers, but then they actually learn each other's names.
Yeah.
They just choose to learn each other's names. You know?
Yeah. The fact that we don't have a big scene where we're like sitting around a campfire, like sharing war stories and like changing actual names.
It's
That would have done a lot.
It's
I
criminal and
think that,
detrimental of the film.
yeah, I think it actually, funny enough, it goes to like comparing apples to oranges here. It's a lot of the same reason why I have a lot of negatives about Scream 7, which is currently my second least favorite movie of the year behind The Bride. And that's just because they kill everyone and don't make you care about it. Unlike some of the other Scream movies, I feel the same way about this movie where they go in and kill everyone. And I'll say, I care about everyone way more than I care about the characters in Scream 7. I do. There
Yeah.
were some characters that I'm like the dude who went to go back to get the bullets. You know he's not going to make it back, but when he died, I was like, come on, man. Like, come on. I liked him. I wanted him to survive. And you are rooting for these
right.
characters. Like, I'll give them
Yeah.
that. Like, I was rooting for these characters. Like, I had a reason to root for them, but it didn't feel like a
Right.
unique reason. It was a collective reason in terms of, like, I just want all of them to make it back. It wasn't like, I want number 57 to make it back successfully because he has a wife to get back to, and I want number 62 to get back because he has a dog to get back. Like, they didn't have individual reasons. It was a collective reason, but it was still a reason that drove me home to a point.
Right. And again, like, God, now I'm just now realizing that you're so right. There's not a lot to talk about this film because, like, I guess a positive, is the development of I'm going to use the character name, not his actor name, but 81. Let's say that his development's fine. Like, there's nothing wrong with it. It's just not anything that. It's generic. These are typical things you would get from somebody who's in the army is PTSD from watching one of your brothers die. And I'm not even talking about just like his actual brother, but like maybe a brother of war could get the same effect. Somebody you've known this whole time who just dies in front of you. This case is actually his brother who dies. And, you know, this whole movie, you're made to believe that he was a hero. He died. His brother died, but he, you know, carried him on his back, walked wherever. No, he passed out.
Yeah.
And it's you know, they try.
I think that was a good twist in terms of throughout the entire movie you think he made it back and his brother still died, obviously, but he at least made it back, and then you find out that he didn't make it back. I thought that was a good twist in terms of
it's a twist.
It adds some depth.
It adds depth. And again, this is why I kind of want a sequel, is because they gave enough to his character where it's like, okay, if they carried the sequel and they still did more and they went further with it, I could actually believe, like, okay, this franchise could actually go somewhere, or this could be a franchise. I just think that as far as a first film goes, it's just very one-noted. And again, it's not like it's a bad thing.
Yeah.
I like simple stories like this, but there should have been just like something more with it.
Well, and going back, I thought I was going to be done with negatives, but I do want to talk about one more thing with a negative I've already talked about is another reason why I hate that everyone dies is because the big thing for Alan Richardson's character is that he doesn't know how to work with other people. He doesn't know how to work with a team. And yes, you have the one scene with the tank and a few other like moments in there.
I already know where you're going with this.
But at the same time, it takes away from it so much when, one, Seven's the one that really leads everyone the whole time.
Right.
And two, if everyone dies, who the fuck is he leading? He's a bad leader if everyone dies.
Right.
And the whole point is like, oh, he leads, like, we need to him to show that he's a ranger. We need to show him some development. And he does have some, but you don't really, it doesn't feel it. It would have been so much better and more consequential if more people would have made it back to harken back that he is a good leader and that he can be a team player and that he can be this. But if everyone dies, he's a bad team leader. He is. Like, he was
It's
unsuccessful in his mission.
well,
And then at the
it's
end, they're
not
like,
even that.
you're a true ranger. It's like, no, he's not. His whole team's dead.
His whole team's dead, and let's all side of the fact that the whole point is like you got to be able to work as a team. You got to be able to do this and that. He single-handedly takes out the robot himself. Like,
Yeah,
yeah, everybody's
exactly.
dead, and
Exactly.
he's
Yeah.
forced in that position, but still, he does it on his own.
Yeah. The whole movie, you're talking about how he doesn't know how to be a leader. He doesn't know how to be a team player. And in the end, you proved your point. Like that you didn't do anything with that. Now, one thing I want to give the movie credit for, because I was really harsh on this movie while I was watching it. I hated this movie a lot more as I was watching it until the end. And there's one reason why. And I get it. You have to suspend your disbelief with these movies. That's fine. I understand that. But I refuse to believe that the military would be so incompetent. I was actively throughout the entire course of the movie being like, your military outpost blew up, your sergeant died, these people are out in the woods getting attacked by, like, obviously these training grounds have to be under surveillance. Why the fuck is no one cut? Like, that is just showing that your military is so unbelievably incompetent.
It's not
But
even
that
that,
was
just
back when we
that.
thought there was only one war machine, and we flash to the end and it finds out that it was a full-scale invasion and the whole world's under attack and the base was. I'm like, okay,
So
movie,
that makes it worse.
touche.
That
Really?
makes it that makes it worse for me because at the end of the movie, you have Dennis Quaid walking up to 81, and he goes, "How'd you destroy it?" Oh, there was a vent on the top of its head. You mean to tell me nobody's noticed the massive vent leaking air the entire time in this military?
I don't hate that because here's the thing. They're just focused on saving people and blowing them and shooting missiles at them. Again, this is like a day and a half, 2 days. This is not a long time for them to go and investigate these things.
Sure.
So I think that it is a fair enough, because you also have to remember that Alan Richardson's character, his whole thing is that he's an engineer.
Right.
He is a combat engineer. So he would know these types of things. And you remind us with that pretty soon beforehand, pretty intelligently, with the whole tank scene where he's having to use his engineering with the tank. So I don't actually really have a big problem with that. But I want to give the movie some. I want to be honest. I was literally thinking throughout the course of the movie, how is the military so unbelievable? Like, I cannot stretch my disbelief this much to think that all of this shit is happening in a training ground and no one's noticed. And then we flash back to the military face and find out about the attack and that it's much wider scale than we thought it was. And then that's obviously what they're trying to set up into like a series or a franchise or maybe just a sequel. I don't know. Now that we know how to destroy them, I feel like it'll probably just be one extra movie of cleanup. I don't know. But at the same time, I got to give the movie some credit for doing that. What were you gonna? I saw you wanted to chime in.
Yeah. Look, say what you will about the military being incompetent in this film. They are still not as incompetent as the military in Stranger Things season 5.
Look, that was the 80s, okay? That was the 80s.
That was
Different
the
military.
80s.
Different. This is the modern military. Difference. I don't have that much more to talk about with this movie. That's why I wanted to also have Undertone, but I talked about it. So,
Look,
like,
overall, fine, generic dad movie. Watch it if you're bored, if you got a free weekend. Otherwise, go watch Hoppers because, like, there is better things you can watch objectively in theaters
yeah,
right now.
go watch Undertone over this.
Yeah. I'm sorry.
Like,
Yes.
yeah.
Yes.
Go watch Hoppers, please. I want that movie to succeed. It's doing well enough in the box office. I hope this weekend really helps bolster it. Please go see Hopper. Please, I beg you, make it the highest grossing movie of the year, or at least one of. It was really good. Yeah, we have not much more to talk about with War Machine.
Let's get into.
If your dad wants to watch a movie, recommend it. It is gory though. It is.
Oh yeah, that is one thing we didn't touch. It is absolutely gory. Like, just be careful of that.
You're watching holes get blown through people. There are some pretty good scenes in this where, like, for instance, a dude's head get lobbed off by a missile and you see his head like fly. Like, there are some good scenes in this. It's gory, but again, I don't have that much more to say about it. Carson, I don't know if we're going to argue as much as you think we're going to, but I think there's a chance that there will be probably one or two This would be the first time that we do a tier list of this nature, so pardon us if this is a weird format. I have a scene set up for it. I have a tier list set up for it. I am going to give some precursors before I open up the tier list, though. Daredevil Born Again is on this list. I have not seen Daredevil Born Again. Carson will rank that. X-Men 97 is on this list. I have not seen it. Carson will be ranking that. I will see them eventually. There is a reason I haven't seen them, and I've talked about them before, but I will talk about them again. I have not seen Daredevil Born Again because I have not seen Daredevil or the Netflix universe. I have seen the first half of season 1 of Daredevil and fell off of it because I was way too young to be watching it at the time that I watched it, and it was a little too much for me. I will go through and watch them. We will not be reviewing Daredevil Born Again season 2 when it comes out. Carson will probably hop in here with some reviews as the series goes on. That's totally fine. You will not hear my thoughts on it. You will not hear back and forth on it, but it is on the tier list. X-Men 97 is on the tier list. I have not seen it. The reason I have not seen X-Men 97 is because I want to watch the whole animated series beforehand, and I have not caught up yet. It's a long series. It's like 4 seasons. Granted, they're short seasons, but I have a lot of other stuff to watch. I watch like 2 to 3 movies a week, plus anime, plus a bunch of other things. I haven't had time, so I haven't seen that. This is an MCU tier list. So the Daredevil Netflix stuff, while technically canon, is not on this tier list. Also because I haven't seen it. The Sam Raimi Spider-Man movies, all those Spider-Man movies, not on it. X-Men movies, not on this. The TV shows are most of them, Secret or Agents of Shield is not on this tier list, but we have. I think you can get a good idea, obviously, as we go through this. I do just want to give this kind of like precursor.
This is base MCU. This is like what everything since MCU's been created. This is everything MCU since it's been created, not including things that have either been predecessing or had been connected through other means.
That's a good way to put it. There is nothing that has been retroactively considered canon that is on this list. I would say stuff like Daredevil, stuff like the X-Men, stuff like the Spider-Man movies are not on here because they are retroactively considered canon. They were not canon until a certain point in time. This is everything from Iron Man 1, the first MCU movie, all the way to the most recent movie being Fantastic Four, and Wonder Woman is on this list as well.
Yeah.
So that will be the ranking of this movie. We'll be doing them in order of release for the most part. That's how I ordered the tier list.
Yep.
And we have S through F. I'm going to go ahead and switch over to our tier list ranking. Again, this is the first time we've done something like this, so things probably look a little weird. Our cameras are where they are. Carson doesn't even know what this looks like because he has a completely different view, but he can see the tier list.
Yep.
I've been rambling on long enough trying to put this off. Let me open up the tier list on my end because I have control over it. Iron Man 1.
Okay, let's just get this out of the way. Iron Man 1's an A.
Okay. I was going to put it B, but high B. I'm okay with A.
I think it's low A.
Lower A. Yeah.
I think it's low A.
I think low A is fine with me.
I don't think, based on like how I'm looking at other films on this list, I don't think it's fair to put it in B, but I don't think it deserves to be an A either. Put it in A. Put it at the very low end of A.
It definitely gets a lot more like juice behind it simply because it started the MCU and it was a really good start to the MCU. Like if Iron Man 1 wasn't as good as it was, we would not have gotten any of the other movies on this list, and we can kind of all accept that.
Yes.
But at the same time, it's not like it's the best. Like there are so much better movies on this list. I think low A, it's top of A now, but low A, I think is a fair ranking.
Hulk technically came next in timeline, but it doesn't really matter.
I thought what I saw was Thor.
I'm pretty sure Incredible Hulk was also 2008.
Okay, we can swap it. I have not seen Hulk. This is another one I have not seen, but there's a reason I haven't seen Hulk. And I don't know if I've ever actually officially talked about this on the podcast. I do not consider the Hulk canon. It has the cameo in it, yes. And yes, technically Abomination is canon now. I understand that. I think it was a huge mistake on Marvel to consider this movie canon because they've done recasts in the past. This is the biggest recast they've ever done. The Hulk doesn't even look remotely the same. I do not consider this movie canon, and for that purpose, I am boycotting this movie, and I probably will never watch this movie
That being
just
that
because of that.
but for those who have watched the movie, it's still not great, but it's far from like the worst abhorrent thing you'll ever see. So put it in D or F. I mean, I
I'll
think D
put
is
it.
I think
I'll
D's
put it in D.
I think D's fair.
I
You can put
think
it at
it's
the
an
low
F
end.
just because I don't love that this movie is considered canon, but at the
You
same
can put
time,
it at the
it
low
is
end of D.
unfair. It'll be on the low end of D.
Next one should
Thor.
technically be Iron Man 2.
Is it?
Then you'll have the order correct. Then you'll have the order correct.
Okay. I looked up a list and I thought this was correct. Okay. Anyways,
It don't really matter all that
into
much. Iron Man 2, it's fine. There's nothing glaringly wrong with it, but you know,
I'd
it
say high C, low B for me.
I'd say C just all around, mid C for me. Like I think like it is the most quintessential mid of Marvel movies. There's nothing bad about it. There's a lot to love, but it's nothing to really write home about. It's pretty much filler until we get to Avengers, as far as I'm concerned.
You mean all these movies are filler till we
No,
get
no,
to
no,
it?
no. I meant to. I
I
meant
was about
to.
to throw hands. I was about to throw hands,
No,
dude.
I meant to.
Okay, yeah. I think this movie gets a lot of unnecessary hate. I think it's a good movie. I do think that there are some definitely it doesn't do anything super special, but at the same time, I do think it's a very fun. I've rewatched this movie within the past few years, and I do think it gets a lot of unnecessary hate. But when you're talking about movies, like some of my favorite movies of all time, that there are many on this list, and because the whole point of this is comparing them against each other, I'm not upset to put this in C.
Sure, sure.
Thor.
Thor. Okay. I'll let you rank this where you want it, but in my opinion, I also think it's a C, but it's significantly higher than Iron Man 2.
I was literally going to say the same exact thing. I was going to say this is better than Iron Man 2, but it is the relative same caliber as Iron Man 2. I think it's better, but not by a country mile. I don't think it's
Yeah.
a letter grade higher. So if we're saying that Iron Man 2 is a C, I think Thor is on the higher end of C's, but not like the highest of
Um.
high.
Yeah.
I'm saying this is an A. I think it's better than the first Iron Man personally. The
If
first Captain America.
if you want to put an A, that's fine. I would have said B.
Really? You
Like
think it's you think it's worse than Iron Man?
yeah. I've always thought that Iron Man was just a better movie than Captain America: First Avenger.
How?
I think because we've been honest about this before. We said it a year ago when we had a review for Brave New World. I don't think First Avenger is that far off from Brave New World, in my opinion. Like
That's a horrible take.
I know it might be a horrible take. I'm
I
I'm okay with A.
saying that Brave New World is the same caliber as the first Avenger, I think is one of the worst things you've ever said and really angers me. Because I don't hate Brave New World. It will rank it when we get there. I don't hate Brave New World, but the fact that you're like considering that first Avenger is really good. Like
I haven't seen
it's
First
not a
Avenger in a
perfect
while. So
movie.
maybe that's what it is. I just need to rewatch it. But that's always where I've always like stood on it was like it's a high B. It's far from perfect, but it's not anywhere near like an A or an S tier Marvel movie. That's always where my mind was. However, if you want to put an A, I'm comfortable putting it A. I don't. It has been a few years since I've
I
seen
will
it.
put it for you. I'll put it A below Iron Man. But
Okay,
I
this
still think that your comment about First Avengers is horrible. First Avengers is an S tier
S.
movie.
Put it in S tier.
It's a phenomenal movie. It is a fantastic movie. So strong. First Avengers assemble moment. The 360 shot of the Avengers is still one of the best shots in the whole
The
MCU.
score, the character development, just the overarching plot of the entire film it's really good. And it
Yeah.
ties it all well together very, very well.
Yeah, no, I fully agree with you. Iron Man 3 is worse than Iron Man 2.
I think that's debatable. I don't think it's far off, but it's debatable. I think you could
I
say you can go back and forth on which one you like more.
I remember more about what happens in Iron Man 2 than I do about what happens in Iron Man 3. The whole premise of Iron Man 3 is the suit of armor around the world. You have God, I'm blanking on his name, the main villain of that movie. Who's
Mandarin
this?
or
No, well,
Aldrich Killian, technically.
yeah. Um I thought it was an okay movie. I it's not one that I really care all that much to go rewatch. I thought it was fine. I would rather go rewatch Iron Man 2 than Iron Man 3. That's just my thoughts on it. Are
Yeah,
you
I if you want it there, I don't blame you. It's fine.
I don't
That
think it's
makes
that far off from Iron Man 2. I don't think I'd put it in D tier, but I definitely think it's on the weaker end of things.
I'd agree with that. Okay. This is gonna be the first one where we're actually gonna debate. Never mind, we don't. We're not gonna debate this
Nope.
at all.
Nope.
S.
It is
Perfect. We're good.
amazing. Winter Soldier, Captain America Winter Soldier is one of the best MCU movies. It will stay. It will not be the highest. I don't think it's the best MCU movie, but this movie is so good. I wish I've rewatched this movie more. I've watched this movie more than once, but like God, it's such a good movie. It is better than the first Avengers. As much as I love the first Avengers, I really do, and it's really hard to put it above the first Avengers, but it is better. The whole like elevator scene in that movie, the whole like Bucky stuff with that movie, it's so good.
Yeah, I agree. Okay. Well, just put that in D.
Do you
Like
want me to put it above? You've seen Hulk.
that's top of D. I think that's gonna be top
Okay.
of D for me.
I think that Thor: The Dark World gets more hate than it deserves, but it is still a D tier movie. I think it's one
It.
of those movies
Yep.
that is not phenomenal. It is definitely obviously on the lower end of things, but at the same time, I really don't think it's like people talk
Yeah.
about that movie as if it's the worst thing they've ever seen in their entire life. I really don't feel that way about this movie. I think there are some interesting elements. They've obviously introduced you to the Aether, which is the reality stone. Really, really big, important thing. You have an end credit scene with Thanos. I believe that's when we introduce our connection between Loki and Thanos. I think that's the end credit scene, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
Um, but I think it does a lot for world building, both on Thor's character, on Loki's
Yes.
character. It does a lot.
It's a
At the
filler
same
movie.
time, though,
It's clearly a filler movie.
yeah,
And it sets up a little bit, but beyond that, it's okay.
yeah, yeah.
Okay,
Age
this
of
is gonna be
Ultron.
okay. This is rough because I love Age of Ultron, and
Thank you. It is A tier.
okay, I'm fine with A tier. I was gonna say it's the top of B if that's what you were thinking. I
I
will say A. I
I will
love
put
Age
it
of Ultron.
I will put it at the bottom of A. People love to hate on this movie, especially recently for some reason. People love to hate on this movie. Also, I love you, Escape Pod. I'm subscribed to one Patreon. I am a Deborah tier patron for the Escape Pod. I absolutely love those guys. They recently, or at least I was recently listening to, I think it was a Patreon episode about them where they were talking about Age of Ultron. And they mentioned that, oh, there's nothing super important that happens in Age of Ultron that like really builds out the MCU. The entire time I was sitting there, I was screaming at the top of my lungs that the Sokovia Accords, which kicks off a huge arc in the MCU that we're still feeling to this day, happens because of Age of Ultron in Sokovia,
Right,
because of this movie. Yes, Ultron is a one-off villain. He wasn't built up like Loki or Thanos or anything like that. I still think he's a very good villain. He's a very menacing villain. I don't love their killing off of Quicksilver or their treatment of him. They also introduced Scarlet Witch, which they did acknowledge, which is huge. But literally the Sokovia Accords, which has literally one of my favorite MCU movies of all time, would never have happened without Age of Ultron.
sure.
And in like that, I was screaming that at the top of my lungs. I might even clip this out just to at them and hate on them for that. I love you guys. I literally subscribe to a Patreon. But the Sokovia Accords would never have happened without Age of Ultron. And I think that gives it a leg up. But also, genuinely, it's a fun time. You have the
No,
hammer
it's
lift
a
scene in
very
this
fun
movie,
time.
which is really good. Like,
Look, I think Age of Ultron is just like of all the Avengers movies, and this is probably what keeps it on a B for me. Again, top of A or bottom of A, top of B. is just the fact that like it's a fun time. But I not that I like there are everlasting things that go this film causes that goes against the entire rest of the MCU and it builds out from it. But as a film itself, the plot, okay, it's fine. There's a reason for them to all get together. There's a reason for them to stop it, but it's certainly far from the most interesting of at least like Avengers has one of the most interesting villains and dynamics to get them all together. The setup for the team, Infinity War, Endgame. It's unfair. Again, it's comparing apples to oranges, but this is a film that I feel like the setup, everything is just okay, even though I really like this film. I'm not the only one to say that, but I really enjoy it.
Now that I'm looking at it, I might knock it down to B tier just because I think A tier is gonna get overcrowded.
I agree.
I still think it's a
Okay.
really good movie, though. That being said, Guardians of the
Oh,
Galaxy is top of A tier.
I think that's probably exactly where that needs to go.
I don't think it's an S tier movie. I think that it is a really good movie. I will say, though, it is probably, and maybe we'll disagree on, actually, no. I think Guardians of the Galaxy is the second best
Yes.
character
Yes.
introduction movie of the MCU. There's
Oh,
one more that I'd put it above it that we'll talk about when we get there, but I think
okay.
it is the second best character introduction movie on here. I think that the only reason I would maybe give it first is just because the the character that we've introduced, which I think is the best one, is a character that everyone loves. Of course, I have a special place in my heart for it. In Spider-Man Homecoming, I'll just say it. But at the same time, I think that Guardians of the Galaxy going from literally a group of characters that no one's ever heard of. And now, granted, the comic adaptation of the Guardians of the Galaxy, or the comic telling of Guardians of the Galaxy, is not the same characters as the Guardians of the Galaxy movie 1-to-1.
Right.
But taking a concept in a group of characters that no one's ever heard of and making as damn good of a movie as they did,
It's cool. Yeah.
it's cool. It's good. It's fun.
Um, Ant-Man. Uh,
I'm gonna say, and we can start here, bottom of B tier. I think it's a good movie. I think it's a fun movie. I don't think there's nothing necessarily wrong about the movie. I just think
I
it's not one that I'm gonna write home about and say you must see. I think Age of Ultron is better. But I think it's along the same lines. I mean, I'd say Age of Ultron is probably like
do not
a little bit more than above, but
no matter what film goes in front of it, do not move it from the bottom of B tier. But I think bottom of B tier is probably where that goes because I think there's other films on this list that are going to go below it. But like I think of at least of the Ant-Mans, it's my favorite. I don't think that's like a hot take by any
I
means,
mean
but
I was gonna say that's not a hard competition. Um,
Civil
This
War.
is gonna be a
Okay,
hard one. This
this
is
is
a hard
hard.
one because Civil War is one of my favorite comic storylines of all time. Granted, this is not a one-to-one adaptation of it. For a long period of time, though, Civil War, and me and Carson have talked about this, so he knows this. Civil War was my favorite MCU movie for a long time.
Yeah, I have a hard time putting it on the same. Oh my god, I don't. Put it in
It
S.
has
Put
some
it
of
in
the
S.
best. It's the second best Spider-Man behind Far From Home.
Oh,
It is, or No Way Home. Sorry, it's the second best Spider-Man behind No Way Home. You introduce Black Panther in it. Black Panther is amazing in this movie. You introduce so many concepts, the conflict and core behind this movie,
put it in S.
the ramifications that it has. Where in S though? Because I'd put it above Winter Soldier,
Below Avengers. I
below Avengers.
I love that first Avengers movie so much, and I do not think you can have. That's it's not above Winter Soldier. That's a loss for me.
Okay, I
It's not
would
above
put
Winter
it above
Soldier.
Winter Soldier, but I think as a compromise, I'm gonna put it between them.
It's got to
I
be
know you don't
S.
like it, but look, here's the thing.
It's got to
Civil
be
War,
S.
Civil War is so like I get it. People love this movie, but I like the introduction to Spider-Man, the introduction to Black Panther, the opening of this movie, the ramifications that it has literally to this day
Are still
in the
haunting the rest of the
relationships in the
MCU.
MCU.
Yeah.
It is such a good movie. That airport fight scene and the meaning behind it.
Yeah.
Like the stuff with War Machine and the injuries, the stuff with Vision in this movie.
Yeah.
Like
Let's see
it's
here.
really good. First Doctor Strange movie.
That's hard. I
I
really
think
like it. Is it
it's better
big?
than Ant-Man for sure. Would you
Yeah.
put it above Ultron? Because I think
Yes.
this is a B
Yes.
tier movie.
I think it's above Ultron just because I think it's a more well-rounded story. I really think that Doctor Strange has a more well-rounded story than Avengers does. Not saying Avengers doesn't have a good well-rounded story, but I've always been more drawn into the world of Doctor Strange easier than I was drawn into the world of Ultron. I'd say it's above Ultron. If you put it below Ultron, I'm not going to be upset about that.
I think I'm fine putting it above Ultron. I really like Age of Ultron, but at the same time, I feel like as a standalone solo movie, I mean, actually, I am gonna put it above Age of Ultron because nothing tops Dormammu have come to bargain in Age of Ultron for me. Just that whole like montage scene in that movie of Dormammu have come to bargain is just so ridiculous
It's good. It's good though.
and it's so
Um,
good. Thor Ragnarok.
in between Guardians and Iron Man.
Really? You'd put it that high?
I've always liked Thor Ragnarok. I think it's easily it's again not hard. It's comparing apples to oranges. The best Thor movie. I think that it's a well-rounded story. I think it's got a nice heart to it. I think that uh, everything about the film just works so unbelievably well, and is a very very fitting story for Thor. But again,
I think my biggest problem with Thor Ragnarok is, and this is going to sound like an unfair criticism, but I'm going to say it, is the wasted potential with some of the elements.
I guess that's
Because here's the
fair.
thing, the reason why, and I'm not saying it's a bad movie, but they were like a concept that they incorporated into this movie that I feel like wasn't utilized and is going to be wasted and probably won't get told again is they tried to do the World War Hulk storyline without
Yeah,
doing World War Hulk. And that loses
yeah.
a lot for me when they said, like, oh, we're taking elements from World War. I mean, him going to another planet, him having a son, all of these elements that tie so deeply in to the
It,
World War Hulk storyline were introduced in this movie, and it wasn't World War Hulk. And that means that we are never going to get a World War Hulk with where Hulk is in the MCU. I get it. This is a Thor movie, and you can't have it be World War Hulk. But the fact that they kind of shoehorned in and made this a Hulk movie as much as it was a Thor movie,
I
it
think
does kind of lose some
I
points
think it
for
just
me.
depends on how you objectively are ranking these films. I'm not ranking them based off of the comic book accuracy. If I was
No, no,
ranking
no.
it based off of
I'm not saying comic book accuracy. I'm just saying potential and enjoyment of the movie, knowing, and I you could say comment like, oh, that's still comic book adaptation, but like I really wish that they would have done more with that World War Hulk storyline, and they just didn't.
okay, then I would say put it based on where a good
I would
compromise was made. Put
say,
it below Doctor Strange, above Age of Ultron. Okay. If you're still willing to put it
well,
in
you
A,
wanted
then
to
that's
put
fine.
it all the way up here.
I
I'll
assume I basically
compromise. I'll compromise and put it at the bottom of A tier
put it above First
because
Avenger for
you
me.
have it way higher.
No, actually, no, it's fine.
I'd have
You
it
can put it there.
lower, but
You can put it there.
I think
That's
high.
fine.
I think low A tier is fine. Guardians 2 is a movie that gets way too much hate. It gets
Yes,
way too much hate.
that being
Like,
said, put it above Ant-Man.
yeah, absolutely. No, absolutely. 100% put it above Ant-Man. But shout out to the Escape Pod boys. They say this is the worst MCU movie ever made, and I think that they deserve death for that. No, I'm kidding.
I'm looking at
But that's
one right
ridiculous. I
now
think,
I'm sorry. I'm looking at one other movie on this list right now that's telling me how
yeah,
could you possibly think it's the worst one? How could you possibly think that?
like the ego thing, the it hurt me to put that tumor in her brain. Like all of that stuff, like the heart and the building that it does for not only Quill, but Mantis as well as her introduction. I think that like the earth things that they do with it, hell, Yondu's death really hurt me. Like that was a really good, meaningful, well done death. The scene with all the Ravengers and the fireworks, I
Yeah.
don't think it is the worst Guardians movie. I think that's a fair argument to say, but I
Yep.
think that overall it is still a good movie with a lot of really good elements to it. It had huge stakes, and you can complain, "Oh, well, the huge stakes and why didn't the Avengers get involved?" They didn't know what was going on. Like
Sure.
Earth was getting taken over because of events that were happening a galaxy away nearly. Like it
Yeah.
is, or like multiple, like, yeah. So I think Guardians 2 is really, really strong. It is the worst Guardians movie, but I still think it's a very strong and enjoyable movie. That
Uh,
being said, Spider-Man Homecoming is bottom of S tier
no,
for
it's
me.
not bottom. Not for me. It is below Guardians for me. Oh God, I love Homecoming. I think of all the home trilogy movies, it's probably my the best story because it's the most actual. Like, okay, this is Spider-Man being Spider-Man in a friendly neighborhood, I guess, environment, kind of in an Avengers world. This is hard because I really like Homecoming, but I don't think it's S tier. I think that you have to save S tier for just like specific films that like have absolutely earned that. I'll give you top of A
I
if
was gonna
that's a
say
compromise,
I
but
I can understand
I
your
don't think
argument
it's better than Guardians.
because there is a Spider-Man movie on here that is deserving of an S tier, and if you don't agree with me, I will shoot you. Um,
I because
so I
here's the other
think
thing.
that is
There is another movie on this list that we're gonna get to. I'm going to say is S tier. You're not going to agree with me, but I'm going to be compromised and put it in A because I know that you're not going to agree with me for it being S. But anyway,
I'm curious what that movie is going to be. But to wrap up the conversation on No Way or on Homecoming, I'll put it at the top of A tier because here's the thing. I think Guardians is amazing. I think it's really, really strong. I think there's a lot of really strong elements of it. The villain is not that interesting. Ronan is not a super interesting villain. He just isn't. I think he's good. I think he's not that good though. Like not that interesting. He's good, but not that interesting. Vulture is a super compelling villain, being a huge reveal. Peter's girlfriend's or Peter's date, girlfriend, whatever, father, the scene and the conversation of them in the car where it's revealed to Peter that he is like Vulture, and then the whole conflict that they have on the beach. I think that there's a lot of super strong elements. I know a lot of people hate on Homecoming, or I keep saying Homecoming, sorry. On yeah, no, Homecoming for like being the it's just another Iron Man movie because Iron Man's super and like this is just Iron Man Jr. I think those complaints are bogus. I understand them, but I think they're bogus. But I think that the elements that it has, like villain wise, are so much stronger than Guardians that's why I put it above Guardians. I think there are elements of Guardians that are better. Their team dynamic, certain things with certain characters, but if we're talking about core story and core villain and things like that, which are all very important things to a movie, Homecoming does that way better.
um, Black Panther.
I prefer Black Panther over Doctor Strange. I'm trying to debate if I'd put it in A tier.
That's
I think
what
it's
I'm trying to figure out.
I think it's a really good movie. I think the CGI loses a lot of points for me. I think that
Yeah,
I get it like
put it below Doctor Strange. I think that's where that belongs.
below Doctor Strange.
Below Doctor Strange, above Ultron. I think that's where that belongs because
Because I think
the story itself elevates that movie. That's the only reason
yeah,
it's as high up as it is, even with all the CGI mess that it is.
Killmonger's really strong. He's a really strong villain. He's a very good motivation behind him. You very much care about things. I just think that there are certain elements, especially to do with like the CGI,
Yeah,
especially in that train battle, that
that's
looked
really it.
so bad that
It draws you out of the
knocks this
movie.
movie down way more than I wish it did. But whenever I think back to the movie, I think about like three things. I think about Chadwick Boseman and how good of a
Yeah,
performance he gives. I think about Killmonger and Michael B. Jordan and how good of a performance he gives and how like just great his motivations are as a villain. And it's one of the most compelling villains of the MCU.
sure.
And I
Yeah.
think about how just like as I'm watching the train sequence, I'm like, did they forget that this needed to be rendered when they were doing post production? Like this literally looks like a pre-rendered fight scene from a video game.
Yeah, I think that's where it belongs. Ant-Man and the Wasp, top
I'd
of
say it's a C tier.
bottom of C, very bottom of C. Then
Really?
I've never really been on the side of this movie. I think it's got some fun moments, but I think that there's a lot that just misses the mark of even what the first one had. There's pacing issues. There's definitely writing issues, and I think that it's a fun summer blockborn popcorn movie, but really, I think this also came out of the time where I was higher on it in theaters because it was right after Infinity War. But on rewatch, this feels more like a filler movie setting us up to Endgame. I really don't have much of a high praise for this movie. I say it goes below Iron Man 3, bottom of C, if you're going to put it in C. Otherwise, it's top of D. Like, it is definitely better than Thor the Dark World.
Yeah, obviously. I don't know. For me, I'd put it above Iron Man 3 just because I remember more about this movie than Iron Man 3. Obviously, Iron Man 3 came out way before Ant-Man and the Wasp, so I've seen it more recently. But at the same time, I think that there's a lot of fun elements. You have the whole Scott thing, you have the relationship with his daughter that's really compelling. Other than that, though, I do agree that there's not all that much strong with this movie. Are you okay if I put it okay, what's your argument for putting this a below like, do you really prefer Iron Man 3 over this movie?
I don't hate Iron Man 3. I've already made that very clear. I think
I
Iron
don't
Man
hate it
3 should
either.
be I think Iron Man 3 should be top of C. I think it's better than Thor and Iron Man 2. I that's where my stance on it. So I'm okay putting it either at the end of C, but you just got to be able to swap like Iron Man 2 and Iron Man 3, in my opinion. That would just make me happier.
So you're saying if I swap these and put
Yes.
in the Wasp,
I could be more content about that because I think Iron Man 2 and Ant-Man and the Wasp are probably close to the same for me.
I'll give you this. I'd say if I'm letting you swap, because I wouldn't swap these, you have to give me Ant-Man and the Wasp above Iron Man 2.
Oh yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. That's fine.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, that's fine.
I don't love this because I'd probably swap these, but if we're putting, it's difficult, but I'm fine with this.
Just toss an
Avengers:
S tier and
Infinity
be done
War,
with it.
yeah.
Just toss an S tier
Where?
and be done with it.
Where? I think the
Oh,
top of S tier.
the Winter
Because
Soldier's really good.
here's the thing.
Winter Soldier's so good.
Endgame is my favorite movie of all time. It's going to be in the top of S tier for me, and I'm not going to budge on that. Infinity War is objectively a better movie than Endgame, and I understand that. I understand that most people have Infinity War above Endgame because yes,
I'm one of
Infinity
those
War
people.
is a better movie than Endgame, but Endgame to me meant more than anything has ever meant in terms of media property, in terms of the moment, in terms of the time spent. We talked about this ad nauseum. I've seen Endgame so many times in theaters. I know we're talking about Infinity War now, but I think Infinity War is top of S tier because I would put Endgame above it, but objectively, Infinity War is a better movie. So I'd have to put it at the top of what our current S tier is.
That's fine. I'm okay with that. Captain Marvel. Just put it where you want it. I'm not a Captain Marvel fan. I think it's very middling for me. But I'm one of the few when I say that. I don't think a lot of people
I'm
agree with me on that.
between
So you can put it where you want it. I think I'm just like a hater of Captain Marvel. I think I've
I'm
always
gonna put
been.
it at the top of C tier. I enjoyed it more and probably than all of these movies,
That might be fair.
but I don't think it deserves anywhere near B tier.
I'm higher in Iron Man 3. I think that's the only one on that list I would have put higher than Captain Marvel, maybe. But I'm also a Captain Marvel hater. I don't like her character. I think she's very snobby and self pretentious.
You
I
just
think that
don't like you just don't like what's her name, the actress.
Brie Larson. No, I have nothing. I don't really know much about the actress herself. Actually, it really is just the way they write the character.
I
I
mean, she
actually
has
I think it's gonna rank differently. I think the Marvels is a better Captain Marvel movie. truthfully, because they don't write her to be so self-pretentious. Like
I
I
only agree
truthfully
with
believe
that
that.
just because they have Kamala Khan in the movie, and I love Kamala Khan.
I think the Marvels is better than Captain Marvel. I've always thought that.
It is, and I
Um,
agree with that. I'd put we'll talk about that when we get there, but I do agree. I think the Marvels is better than Captain Marvel. Um, look, man, I
I
understand.
just put it where you want it. I get it.
I
I
understand.
get it. Just put it where you want it, even though I don't 100% agree
Objectively,
with it.
it is not the best made,
You're explaining away, and I'm giving you permission. Just put it where
but
you want. Just put it where you
at the
want.
same time, people have to understand what this movie meant to all of us when it came out in theaters, building up and paying off 10 years. So, in my opinion, as well as they could have with how much they needed to do. Is a little bloated? Is the pacing off at times? I understand that. But when you have so much to do and there is so much that you have to do and pay off, and that would I would have hated if they hadn't included in this movie. It is the best version of this movie that it could have been. And for me, it's my favorite movie of all time. So it's top
That's
Endgame is top best
fantastic.
tier.
This next one, you're not getting me to budge though. Pick it up and put it where I want it, and that is below Age of Ultron.
I'm actually not upset with that. I'm actually not. I
I
would put
figured
it
I would have to fight you.
higher.
I figured I would have to
I
fight you on that.
I would put it higher just because I love all of the Spider-Man movies. However, at the same time, it is the lowest of the Spider-Man movies. I'd have all the Spider-Man movies in A tier, but at the same time, it is the lowest. It does the least for the character. It loses a lot of the friendly neighborhood Spider-Man feel to it. I think what elevates this movie to me is the Mysterio element of it, and the whole that's when he gets his identity revealed and the motivations behind Mysterio. I think a lot of that really works. I just wish they didn't do it on a school trip and that he left the country, and I feel like a lot of that kind
Yeah.
of loses some of the Spider-Man-ness to the movie. A
Yeah.
lot of Spider-Man-ness to the movie. Obviously, he's also dealing with the death of Tony Stark, which is a core thing to the movie, which I think is good, but again, loses some because he's on, like, all that being said, I would put this movie a little bit higher, but it is the lowest of the Spider-Man movies, and I'm not upset with this ranking. Now we're getting into a run of TV shows because
WandaVision.
this is back during the Marvel big TV push. We have a
Yeah.
lot of TV shows to come.
WandaVision's interesting because I like all of it except that final episode when it becomes just a big battle episode. So I'm probably gonna be okay where you put it. Where do you stand on it, truthfully?
It's an A tier for me. I just don't know where
I think
in
it's
A
bottom of A
tier.
tier just because of that last episode. It would be so much higher if that last episode stuck the landing, but unfortunately, it's not as good because of that.
I don't hate that last episode as much as I feel like everyone else
I,
does.
I I don't hate it by any means. I just think I know based off like the cool concept they set up, there could have been a much better finale if they just thought it through, took their time instead of turning into a big action set piece. I think bottom of A, and I'm comfortable with that.
I don't know. Like I again, I think it's A tier. My problem is like I enjoyed it more consistently than like a Thor Ragnarok or even a First Avenger,
Okay, then
just
put it, but
because I think the highs of WandaVision are higher than the first 3 movies of A tier. I do think that the lows are really just that last episode, and I don't think they're low enough that I'd put them bottom of
then
A
I,
tier,
I
but it does
I'm fine with
lose it
that.
a little bit.
I'm fine with that as long as it's above First Avenger. Remember, First Avenger's in A tier because you put it there. I didn't necessarily think that it belonged in A tier. I thought it belonged in B tier.
I definitely
So
think it's better than Ragnarok. I'd put it above First Avenger and Iron Man 1
no,
personally.
it's not better than Iron Man 1 for me. I would put it above First Avenger. Again, I'm not going to put it as high up just purely because of the way I feel about that finale. That's just how I stand on it.
I will compromise and put it below Iron Man, above First Avenger.
I think that that's...
I personally would put it above Iron Man, below Guardians. But at the same time,
oh boy,
I will compromise.
This next one, chuck it and see, call it a day. There's so much to love about it, but
I think
no, you can't. Okay, maybe above Ant-Man. Maybe.
no, I would not put it above Ant-Man. No.
You think very bottom of B then?
I'd either put it bottom of B or top of C because I think the strong elements. I think the strong elements of Captain America or Falcon and Winter Soldier are really strong.
Yeah,
I think that the lows, though, I think it is consistently mid with some high highs, like the decapitation scene, which everyone agrees is a really good scene. But I think that it is consistently a very middling show with some higher highs. I think Ant-Man is consistently higher throughout.
I agree. Yeah, I'm comfortable top of C. Loki, A. I think Loki is the best.
Where would you put it in A?
I'd put it below.
I'd put it here personally.
Yeah, that's where I'd put it. Below Guardians, above
because
Iron Man.
Loki season 1 is really good. Like
Loki season 2,
really good.
Loki season 2 is really good.
We'll talk about that when we get there.
Oh, do you have season 2 on the? I can't see the.
Yeah, I broke it out. I broke it out into seasons.
Oh, so then yeah. Still, yeah. I still
so just so you know, thank you for calling that out. I should have mentioned this. It is broken out into seasons. I don't know what you can see because I'm looking at the tier list. I can't look at that, but it is broken out into seasons. We have the different seasons of the different shows as they are.
I need you to create a separate tier for me below F. For me, can you just hit the button for me? And you can you can put that in the deepest, darkest pit of hell.
Black Widow is the worst MCU movie.
I'm not budging. I am not budging on that. I hate Black Widow with a passion. The only thing that's good about that movie is Red Guardian and Yelena, and even they cannot save the abominable story, the abominable.
It has the worst ending of any MCU movie.
Worst ending, and unfortunately, this would not be here if they put it in the correct moment in time, which is after Civil War, before Infinity War. Unfortunately,
I actively boycott the considering of the Incredible Hulk in canon of the MCU and have not seen it because I boycott that, and yet I'd still put it above Black Widow. That's how bad Black Widow is.
I hate it with a passion. It is so bad. And I don't think it's. I'd never go back to rewatch it. I saw it the first time in theaters with you all those years ago, and I never went back to rewatch it.
And yet it's so unfortunate because I think a solo Black Widow movie, if they did it in the time of Phase 2, would have been really good. Like if they would have made the same movie with some changes and put it like a Black Widow. I don't mean the same exact movie, but like a Black Widow origin story movie in Phase 2. I think that movie could have done really well. It would have been really good. But the fact of the timing of when they're doing it, what they're trying to do with it, 2 endings of the movie. I think one of them is actually an credit scene. But the big blow up, like CGI in the sky, secret base battle scene, bad. Also, the end credit scene of this movie that kind of builds into Yelena's character and joining the Thunderbolts, bad. I don't. Yeah, it's F tier. I don't think we need to ramble on it all that much more. This is one specifically. Again, I broke them out into seasons.
Okay, I think season 1 is fine. I think the Strange episode is the best episode. I think it's actually really good. It's probably C for the rest of it. I think it's a fun show, but there's nothing like really to just like write home about it. I would say it's
I'd put it
probably bottom of C.
yeah. I think that it is bottom of C only because similar to one of my complaints that I had earlier with Thor Ragnarok, which is way higher ranked because it is better. I am upset with the wasted potential of
Yeah.
What If. What If, I own a lot of What If comics. I've read a lot of What If comics. They're so interesting. Not all of them are hits, obviously. You can't have all of them be hits. It just feels like I think my biggest problem with What If as a whole is What If in the comic books has always been solely one-off stories. And the fact that they tried to have a driving for each season, like a through line that tied them all together, it really lost me. And I really wish that they could have just done solely 100% episodic with the Watcher being the one thing that carries over. And I feel like
Yeah.
that would have been way better for all the seasons. But like, we're talking,
Uh let's see here.
I really like
Shang-Chi.
Shang-Chi.
I love Shang-Chi. I think it's, don't hate me, I love No Way Home. I also like Wakanda Forever. I think as far as like
That is the
original,
first Black Panther movie. I'm saying it's top of B tier.
I think it's top of B tier.
I thought you were about to put this like
No,
A tier.
I because
Like,
I'll put No Way Home higher than it because I have more feels for it and more of an emotional attachment to it. But I do
you
think
mean
that
Far From Home?
No Way Home. I think No Way Home is probably better than Shang-Chi, maybe. But we'll get there when we get there, maybe. Um,
I'm gonna kill you. We're gonna fight so bad.
maybe I said
I,
maybe. I said maybe. Shang-Chi
I
is
put Shang-Chi at the top of B tier.
it's really good. It's close to A tier. Like I genuinely really like. I think it's a
I
well-rounded
do as well. I
story.
think the biggest thing, and everyone talks about it,
Is
I
the
do not
final
hate the big
sequence.
CGI battle at the end of this movie as much as
Yeah,
everyone else does, but it definitely could have been better.
it
It
shows.
really could have, and it shows. And the story reasons don't hit as much. I think I think that there's a lot of really good in this. The
Yeah,
action is phenomenal, which is why I'm super excited for Brand New Day because it's the same director.
yeah.
But there are lows that definitely put it down into B tier.
Oh,
Eternals.
this breaks my heart.
This
This
is
breaks
another
my
movie that
heart.
I do not hate at all.
This is the only one that's rotten on Rotten Tomatoes that I don't hate. I feel like
I think that this movie gets so much unnecessary. I think this is the most unnecessarily hated movie of the MCU. Point blank,
I
period.
I agree.
It's
I
not the best movie, but it is the most unnecessarily hated movie
I'm
where
comfortable putting it either at the very bottom of B or at the top of C. Like
I'd
genuinely,
also put it bottom of B. I'd also put it at the
I
bottom of
don't hate
B.
Eternals. I don't understand why it's so hate. I understand that there may be pacing issues, but it's also a very. I think the reason people hate is because it's so different from anything Marvel's ever done, to the point to where it's almost a detriment. Like, oh, I didn't know I was going to get this when walking into it. Well, I
It
love
has
the
the
character
only
study.
sex scene in the MCU in it.
This is true.
I think that I give this movie maybe more credit than it deserves, but I think it deserves the credit because it tries to do something so different. And it came out at
Yes.
a time that everyone was hating on the MCU for just making the same movie over and over again. Everything's copy paste,
Yeah, and the
everything
first
is
time
the
you do
same.
something different,
Everyone shits on it. And I'm like, okay, so you clearly don't know what you want. You don't know what you're talking
right?
about. I think Shang-Chi is better, but a lot like I like obviously clearly,
Like
but I still think Eternals is
I've
really good.
I've rewatched Eternals more times than probably at least half the movies on the B tier list, but I would still put it there just because I really do enjoy Eternals. Hawkeye. I actually really don't mind Hawkeye. I think it's perfectly
I
fine.
really like Hawkeye.
I would put it probably just that being said, I would put it probably just below Far From Home, maybe above Far From Home.
I was thinking right up. I'd put it right below.
That's
I'd
fine.
put it B tier right below. I think Hawkeye's really, really good. I think there are some really strong elements to it. I don't love what they do with Kingpin's character in the show, but I
Yeah.
really like Kate Bishop's relationship with Hawkeye. I really like the action in it. I really like how they incorporate Yelena in there. I think she brings a really fun comedic element that really builds out her character way more, especially when getting into like I would not have cared about Thunderbolts and her character in Thunderbolts nearly as much if it wasn't for Hawkeye, just because of the only other time we see her is Black Widow, and Black Widow is just bad. So Hawkeye earns a lot of credit for doing that. Then again, it's not amazing, but I think that this is a very fair ranking for it.
Okay, how do you feel about No Way Home? Because I expected you to be higher on it. Oh, okay, never mind. That's
No,
that's
no, no. You said that it was lower. You were putting certain movies above No Way Home that I thought was
no, no. I
ridiculous.
I, I think as an
You said Shang-Chi is better than No Way Home. You just said that.
no, I was saying that I was trying to say that I thought the story itself, like it's set like complete all the way through, like set up through to the ending, I think is probably a bit closer and neater than No Way Home. But I think I enjoy No Way Home more objectively, just because of everything that it's giving us, and I have more of an emotional attachment to it. But I think if you're looking at the two of the scripts, No Way Home's setup is significantly messier than Shang-Chi's, but as an overall product film, No Way Home is better. I do not. No, it's S. I think it's S.
It is. Like
It's
it
S.
is not just the nostalgia. It isn't just the nostalgia of seeing Toby and Andrew on the screen together. It isn't. Objectively, there is a lot of strong elements. It has the best Spider-Man acting moment. It has Tom Holland's best acting moment of all time. It has in fact, I'd even call it one of the best acting moments in the entire MCU. I think there are stronger acting, but it is top 5 acting moments after he loses Aunt May, or that whole scene with losing Aunt May. The emotion and just pure, genuine, raw anger that Tom Holland feels in that moment towards the Green Goblin. I think that, I mean, Green Goblin is just amazing. He is so good in this movie. I know that's unfair because obviously we love him from his other appearances, but like he is the best he is. This is the best rendition of this version of Green Goblin. I think that there is so much strong with this movie. I love it. I love No Way Home.
Moon Knight. Okay, here's the interesting thing about Moon Knight. I have not seen it since it came out, but I remember being so high on this show that I thought it was the best show that the MCU had done when it had come out. I haven't seen it in a long time, so I truly don't know how I feel about it, but my heart right now is telling me it is probably above Ultron based on how I felt about it. That being said, I'm comfortable wherever you want to put it, comfortable putting it there because I haven't seen it in forever.
So here's my problem with Moon Knight. One, we don't have a season 2, and we need a season 2, but we're never going to get a season 2 because Oscar Isaac refuses to work with Disney and Marvel. And two, I know I've made arguments throughout the course of making this tier list about how certain CGI battles bother me less than others or more than others. I do think that this is the worst usage of a big CGI battle at the end of something, with the big kaiju battle that does take the ending of this show down for me. But at the same time, I still think that it is really, really good. So
I'm comfortable putting it wherever you want to put it.
I'd put it above Ant-Man and Eternal.
Below Ant-Man, based on what you're describing. Oh, I mean, if you based on how you're describing it, I would say it's below Ant-Man. But if you think it's
Okay,
higher, go
that's
for it.
fine. I think it's I think that if I really thought about it again, I'm right there with you. I haven't seen it in a long time, so that's fine. But we have a
Okay.
lot more to get through, by the way, and we've already been recording for 2 hours, so we're gonna speed this up a little bit just because
Yeah,
I
so,
do have somewhere
of
to
these,
be.
I'm about to say some of these are easier. Multiverse of Madness, top of C.
Yeah, agreed. Wasted potential. Could have been way
Miss
better. Miss
Miss.
Marvel, I say bottom of. I know B is getting really
No,
crowded.
not B. It's below Multiverse of Madness for me. I'd put it above Captain Marvel.
Really?
I'd put it above Captain Marvel, maybe above Falcon.
I
I think
I'll
it's just okay.
I'd say top of C
I like
for me.
Multiverse more, but that's fine. I can live with that.
Because here's the thing with, I know we're not trying to not go as long on things, but I'd put Miss Marvel this high just because I love her family so much.
I guess it's fair.
I think her family is so good in this. and their dynamic is great, and I think that the introduction of, like, mutants into the story is really interesting. I thought it was really good.
I
Thor: Love and
love
Thunder is
gore. I actually am okay with the story. I don't think the story itself is bad. It's just overblown with too much comedy that doesn't land. I'd say that's probably it's not like super offensive, but it's such a downgrade from Ragnarok.
I'd put it in C tier,
Yeah,
personally.
I'd put it above the. I still think it's better than the original Thor.
I agree, but I don't think it's by much for me
No,
personally.
no. All right, that's good. I'm good with that. I am
Um,
Groot shorts. That's
have you seen these?
yeah. I, I don't know. Chuck them and see. They're average. I mean, they don't.
They're funny. They're
They're
short.
fine.
They're funny. I'd put them. I actually would rather watch them than What If. So I'm
I'd
gonna
agree with
put
that.
them above What If.
D. I like the first 2 episodes, and I like the Daredevil episode. The rest of it kind of falls off for me.
Yeah, I think it has a really bad ending.
But
Really
it's
bad
not
ending.
Black Widow. Werewolf
No.
by Night. I actually really enjoy Werewolf by Night.
I'd put it at the bottom of B tier personally.
That's
I
right.
think that
That's what I was
this is
thinking.
another example along the lines of Eternals that did something very different that I
And
don't
nobody
think gets enough
appreciated it.
credit to,
Yes.
but at the same time, objectively, it is just fine. Like, it's good, it's fun, but it
Yeah.
doesn't. They also, it's another example of they've set up a bunch of things that have not been paid off.
I agree.
Wakanda Forever.
Hot take. I think it's probably about the same as the original Black Panther, but it's not as good as the original Black Panther. I'm also willing to, if you want to make the argument that's better, I think it's probably on
No, it's
par.
definitely not better. It's definitely not better. I'm just trying to think if it's that.
I I I think the
I think
acting
I'd be
moments are
fine.
phenomenal.
I think I'd be fine putting it here. I definitely have my problems with the movie, but I think it has a phenomenal opening. It handles the passing of Chadwick Boseman very, very well and respectfully. I think that some of the elements, like, I don't like the incorporation of his son. I actually really don't like the incorporation of his son.
I don't have many problems with Wakanda Forever, and if you have issues with the sun, get ready for Avengers Doomsday. Just letting you know now.
Yeah, I know.
Uh
I know.
I don't have
But
that many problems
I'd
with it.
put it above Age of Ultron just because I think the highs are higher than Age of Ultron, but I would not put it above the first Black Panther movie. I think they're relatively the same in quality for me.
Let's see.
Uh Guardians of the Galaxy
Uh
Christmas special.
it doesn't do anything for me, but it's certainly not
I'd
bad.
still rather watch it than What If, but not
I
by
agree.
much.
It doesn't do
Um
anything for me, but okay, this is gonna get really odd. I love Kang in this movie. I actually think they do him really well. That being said, it's not a fail. It's still D. I don't think anything comes
I'd say it's a
close.
I'd say it's above The Dark World. I think there are things I like about it more than Dark World,
I agree.
but MODOK is so bad.
Our mutual friend says that it's probably the worst movie he's ever seen in theaters, and I think that he hasn't seen Black Widow in theaters. So
Yeah, I was gonna say he
I
hasn't seen Black Widow.
I think that it's much worse. But I'm fine with that. Okay, Guardians 3. Don't hate
It's the
me.
best Guardians movie, so it
I
has to
agree.
be above the others.
I actually think it's an S. I think that
Really.
I think it's bottom of S.
I was gonna say if it's gonna go in S, I'm putting it at the bottom of S, but I don't hate that because I think it made me very emotional. It's a great send off to the characters. I think that
Guardians 3 is the best one.
Yeah, I think that the scenes with Rocket and his friends and the devastation behind that, I think that the Evolutionary was a great villain.
Yes.
I think it's a really good movie. So yeah, I'd be comfortable putting it in S tier.
D. It's not completely a fail because the first few episodes were pretty good, and actually the actual character of Talos was really well done.
Okay, I'm putting it. I would rather rewatch She-Hulk than Secret Invasion.
I'll give you that. I'll give you
I
that.
would rather rewatch She-Hulk than Secret Invasion because I feel like Secret Invasion is the example of wasted potential. I talk about wasted potential all the time, literally on this tier list. It is the example of wasted potential in terms of how
Yeah.
interesting the scrolls are and the fact that they're infiltrating our society and oh my god, who's a scroll, who isn't? And it just didn't do all that much with
Um,
it.
what's
Okay,
next?
next.
Put it with the other.
Yeah, they're the same quality. I don't really interchangeable.
Above
Loki
season one.
season 2.
Above season
Like
one.
just above?
No. Yeah.
I'm
Yes.
almost tempted to say this is top of A tier.
I'm okay if you say that.
Because I think the ending is so good.
I don't have a problem with that. I just have a hard time ranking a lot of things above Guardians because that's such a well
No, I
written
think actually now that I think about it, I think that's fair. I think it's better than season 1, but
it's
is
very
it
high
better
up
than
there.
season? Yeah, no,
Oh,
it is.
no,
The highs
it's
are
better.
higher for season 2 than the
It's
highs of
better.
season
It's
1. I
definitely
think,
better than
yeah.
season one.
Yeah.
That's good. Good enough.
The Marvels.
Better than Captain Marvel. I actually would go as far as to say I think that's better than Falcon Winter Soldier. Is that fair? Just because I think
I'd say it's fair to say it's better than Falcon and Winter Soldier. I wouldn't put it above Miss Marvel or Multiverse of
I
Madness,
agree with that, but
though.
I do think it's better than
Because
Captain Marvel. I actually can
I think
rewatch
this is
Marvels and
the
be okay with
best
myself.
use. What?
I could rewatch Marvels and actually not hate myself genuinely.
Yeah, that's fair. Because I think the thing with this is the best use of Kamala Khan. I think she is phenomenal in this movie, but she's more consistently good throughout. And I think that there are other elements of Miss Marvel, or the Marvels, that really take it down. I think the pacing is really off with this movie. But other than that, I think it's a fun time.
I
I
actually
don't
okay. I actually remember liking season 2 more than season 1.
really. I don't. But I also haven't seen it in a while, so I'll give you the benefit of the doubt and put it just above season 1 because I still don't love these. The
Exceedingly boring.
Echo is the only thing that I could say is worse than Black Widow.
I wouldn't say
I
that.
would put it above Black Widow, but I think it deserves to be an F tier because I think it is genuinely horrible.
Okay. X-Men 97
This is all on you, buddy. This is
is
all on you.
quite possibly the best thing X-Men that's ever been released, with the exception of Logan.
So I know you're probably going to put it in S tier. That's fine. Where?
Yeah, bottom of S tier. Because
Okay.
I have a hard time in my heart ranking anything higher, and I don't want to go any higher without you having seen it. Because
Okay, I think that's fair. I was gonna say I have a really hard time putting it above any of these in S tier just because I haven't seen it yet,
X-Men
and
97 is the best animated show that Marvel has done.
I think that's totally fine, even having not seen it. We're getting close to the end here. Deadpool
I'm
and Wolverine.
I abstain because I'm biased, and I'm going to be very biased about this. Just put it where you want it.
No. What are you biased towards?
Top of S tier. No.
I was gonna say no.
It's just because I think you're gonna hate me. I prefer Deadpool Wolverine to No Way Home, but I'm also have more of an attachment to Wolverine as a character and Hugh Jackman's Wolverine. Like, it means a lot to me. I know you're not going to put it in S tier. However, if you're comfortable with it, at least put it in the top of A tier.
No. I
for
was
me.
gonna say I'd rather watch Loki and Guardians before rewatching Deadpool and Wolverine. I think there's a lot of strong elements of it.
I'm
but
just biased, and I think it's incredible. I walked out of that movie so happy and just like
I
so
think it's
full of
really
hope.
good. I think there's a lot of I think it's the best I think it's like the best like multiversal movie that they've made. But I still think that there are certain things
that
that
hold it back. I guess that's
hold
fair.
it back. Yeah.
That's fine.
Okay.
I'm fine with that.
Agatha all along.
I actually liked Agatha all along. That
I
being
did
said,
as well.
put it at the top of C.
I'm fine with that.
That being said, put it at the top of C. I didn't think there was anything really wrong with Agatha all along. I actually thought there was a heart and a lot of character to it. My mom watched it with me, and she really enjoyed it too. I think it's probably top of C. I don't have like that many problems with it.
I don't know if I am putting it above.
I'm putting it above Miss Marvel. Again, you're the only one who say in this conversation. I think Miss Marvel goes below Multiverse of Madness, but I definitely think Alcohol Along is better than Multiverse of Madness. So I say put it at the top of C.
I'll put it at the top of C tier for you. I wouldn't put it there, but that's fine.
All right, congratulations. Season 3 of What If goes in
into D tier for me. It's bad. I really did not like season 3 at all.
They had such a good idea and they butchered it.
Yeah, they really did.
Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, actually pretty good.
I'd put it
You could put
in B tier. I don't know. I actually enjoyed it probably more than Eternals, but
that's
less.
fine.
I might even have enjoyed it more than Moon Knight, honestly.
I'm okay if you put it higher in B tier. I actually
I
like
think,
Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man. I thought it was good.
yeah, I'd put it probably here for me.
What's next? Brave New
Brave
World.
New
Oh,
World.
okay. This is hard because I really don't hate Brave New World.
I
It's
don't
got
either.
it's got problems, but I have a hard time wanting to even put it in B because there's just so many creative
I
things
was
in
gonna say
B.
C is packed, but I think it has to go
Top,
somewhere in.
I'm okay putting it at top of C because there's a lot to love about it.
I'd put it below Agatha, but
That I'm also fine with that. That's also
I'd put
okay.
it here.
That's fine with
I
me.
don't hate the movie as much as everyone else, but I definitely don't love it. This is another one on you.
Yeah. If it was
This is
the
not Daredevil as a
episodes,
whole. This is only season 1 of Born.
and I'm also going to predecess it with this. If this whole season was one consistent season by the same people, same writers, it probably could go in A easily. Unfortunately, it's not. And there's a lot of filler and a lot of random things that I just don't care about. Bottom of B.
Okay, that's fine. Thunderbolts. I loved Thunderbolts. I
It's
really loved
I think it's A
Thunderbolts.
for sure, but I think it's
I'd say bottom of A. I'd
bottom
say
of A.
bottom of
That's
A.
fine. I'm
I
good with
think
that.
it's an A tier movie. I liked the movie more than most of the things in B tier. Again, this isn't my ranking alone, so I'd rearrange this a little bit. But for what we have currently, I really enjoyed Thunderbolts, so I'd put it at I put it
Sure,
at bottom of A tier.
sure. I'm content with that.
I did not
Ironheart
hate Ironheart all that
didn't
much.
either.
I actually
I'm also comfortable putting that at the bottom of B because I think it is still a step better than most of the stuff that's in C.
I was gonna say either top of C, bottom of B.
I'm comfortable putting it at bottom of B because there was a lot to love about that
But I'm
show.
also looking at what's in B tier and thinking these are way better. And then I'm looking in C tier and going, this is where it belongs. So I'm going to put it top of C just
I'm good
because
with
I
that.
feel like it's this caliber, but it's probably the best of this caliber.
I'm comfortable with that.
Fantastic Four is great.
Yeah,
I loved Fantastic Four.
I think I always thought it was better than Thunderbolts. I was my favorite superhero movie of the summer. If you don't want to put it above Thunderbolts, just on an objective,
No, honestly, I think I'd put it above Thunderbolts as well. It depends on the day, honestly. It's a really hard one for me. I loved both of these movies. I
they're
thought
both very
both
very
of these
good.
movies were great. And it's not just recency bias. I really do think these movies are great.
I'm literally hoping they're showing it on the boat as like one of the midnight movies. They haven't
I
released all of
think
them
for
yet,
me,
but
these are kind of interchangeable.
that's
So
fair.
I'm okay putting it above Thunderbolts, even though on any given day
I think
think
it's just I'm just more confident on it. Like it's not really like depending on the day for me. I just think Fantastic Four is better.
yeah, that's also our last movie on the list. So we have 3 more TV series.
You
Eyes of
can
Wakanda.
put that above What If for me.
I know you were a lot lower on this than I was.
I was so much lower on it than you were. I think it goes right in the slate of animated shows, but I don't care where you honestly put it.
I'd rather rewatch as much as I enjoyed it. I'd probably rather rewatch the Groot shorts just because they make me laugh.
I'd also
I think
rather
Eyes of
watch the
Wakanda
holiday
is
special.
what?
I'd also rather rewatch the holiday special.
I wouldn't. I would much rather watch. You're way lower on this show. I think again, I'd put this even higher on the list, but for what we currently have, I'm gonna put it here.
It's fine. Good
I
enough
think
for
it was
me.
good. I thought it had some really strong elements. I thought the combat animation was really strong. I thought the story was really strong. We're going to argue about this one because I have thought about Marvel Zombies a lot since we reviewed it, and I am so much higher on it than I was during our
Then put it where you want it.
I've
I'm
even
not even going to
rewatched
argue my point.
Elements. I'm putting it bottom of B tier.
Ooh, oh, actually, that's actually pretty fair.
I would much rather
I
rewatch
I
Marvel
looked at
Zombies than anything in C tier.
I looked at the rest of the list and I was about to fight you and I went, actually, you know what? Nope, that's actually pretty fair. I'll be
I
honest.
was gonna
I don't
say,
think it's B. I still don't think it's B, but I think that that's fair if you want to put it at the bottom of it.
you need to rewatch Marvel Zombies is all I'm saying. I think you need to rewatch Marvel Zombies. I think that there's a lot to
I'll
really like about Marvel Zombies.
I'll watch
I
it on the boat.
think the pacing is a little off. Um, and I think the story doesn't always hit, but the action is amazing. It really, really is. I think the animation is probably the best animation quality of the ones that I've seen. I know X-Men 97 is probably better, and that's fine.
Um,
But I loved that. Last
last
Wonder
one.
Man. I'm really torn on
It's
this.
it's so
I
hard because it's not your typical show. And you know what? I'm gonna be ballsy. It's not a superhero show. That that belongs in A tier. That show has earned the right to be in A
No,
tier.
it does. It does. I would say bottom of A tier for me,
But you
because I think
do
there.
this. Put another category in between A and say non-superhero belongs in
No,
A.
I'm not doing that. I'm not
Oh
doing
my
that.
god.
But I really enjoyed Wonder Man. I thought it had some really high highs. I just think that for me personally, I can't put it above Thunderbolts or Fantastic Four,
No, that's fair. I think
but
that's
I'm
fair.
comfortable saying it's an A tier just because there are some really high highs.
It's so good and it's so entertaining.
Yeah,
Did we get to
that
everything? Is that it?
that is it. So
Holy
really
cow.
quickly, I'm going to run through a really, really fast recap and then kick us into the outro because I have somewhere to be.
Correct. Go
Should have
ahead.
been there by one, but that's fine. I'm not that upset. So we're going to kick this in. Our S tier. At the top of S tier, we have Endgame, Infinity War, Winter Soldier, Civil War. I'm going to restart that because I fucked that up.
Yes, you
At the
did.
top of S tier, we have Endgame, Infinity War, Winter Soldier, Civil War, The First Avengers, No Way Home, Guardians of the Galaxy 3, and X-Men 97. In our A tier, we have Spider-Man Homecoming, Guardians of the Galaxy, Loki Season 2, Loki Season 1, Deadpool and Wolverine, Iron Man, WandaVision, Captain America The First Avenger, Thor Ragnarok, Fantastic Four, The New Avengers / Thunderbolts, and Wonder Man. In our B tier, we have Shang-Chi, Doctor Strange, Black Panther Wakanda Forever, Age of Ultron, Far From Home, Hawkeye, Guardians of the Galaxy 2, Ant-Man, Spider-Man, Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, Moon Knight, Eternals, Werewolf by Night, Daredevil Born Again Season 1, Marvel Zombies. In our C tier, we have Ironheart, Agatha All Along, Captain America Brave New World, Miss Marvel, Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness, The Marvels, Falcon and Winter Soldier, Captain Marvel, Thor Love and Thunder, Thor, Iron Man 2, Ant-Man and the Wasp, or no, Iron Man 3, Ant-Man and the Wasp, Iron Man 2, I Am Groot Season 1, I Am Groot Season 2, Eyes of Wakanda, Guardians of the Galaxy Holiday Special, What If Season 2, What If Season 1. In our D tier, we have What If Season 3, Quantumania, Thor the Dark World, She-Hulk, Secret Invasion, and The Incredible Hulk. In our F tier, the lowest of the low, we have Echo, and the worst of the worst MCU, Black Widow. That is our MCU tier list. I know this is going to get a lot of people riled. I'm going to try to clip as much of this as possible because I really want people to be pissed at us because I think it's funny. And there's a lot of controversial statements that were made on this and a lot of controversial rankings, but I personally am happy with it. I don't love every ranking, but
Not
I'm
every
happy
single
with it.
one, but it's difficult when you have two different people who have various different thoughts about it. We're similar, but various different thoughts on like just where we place certain things. Definitely screenshot that because that's like
I will. I'm gonna save this. And it's gonna be used in the thumbnail anyway. So yeah, but I'm just gonna leave it open and switch us back to our two-person view. That has been our War Machine, our slight review of Undertone, and our MCU ranking. Next week, I am so unbelievably excited for. Do you know why, Carson?
Project Hail Mary and Invincible.
Yep. People are glazing the hell out of Project Hail Mary, so I'm super excited. I already have 2 bookings for it, actually. I'm seeing it in Dolby Atmos and IMAX before we review it, so I'm very, very excited. It's Invincible Season 4. It's the first 3 episodes of Invincible Season 4, so I'm extraordinarily excited. I really am. Anything to leave us off with, though?
I'm gonna be on a boat drinking pina colada in a few hours. So
Yeah, that's fair. Again, another thing, our next week's episode, we're gonna try and record and get up on Sunday, late Sunday, because that's Carson gets back, I believe, on Saturday late, right?
yes,
Yeah, so Carson gets back late Saturday. We're gonna try to record late Sunday and get it up on late Sunday. We make no promises. There's a chance it could be up by Monday. Just throwing it out there. Um, I cannot hear you, Carson. I think you have muted yourself.
I did. I did that on purpose. Go ahead.
Okay. But yeah, that is next week. This has been this week, and I think we're ready to kick us off into the outro, right?
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Well, this has been another episode of the Nerdy Nimrods podcast, the only podcast on the internet where your two favorite Nimrods talk all things nerdy. You can listen to us on all podcast hosting platforms: YouTube, Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon Music, and anywhere in between you can find, watch, and listen to us. You can also find us on all social media platforms: Instagram, TikTok, YouTube Shorts, wherever you get your short form content, long form content, whatever. We're on like literally every platform. Also at Nerdy Nimrods. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for listening. Drop a like, drop a comment. I'm hoping to get some clips up of this episode so we can start some fires, because I love that. I love confrontation. But this has been this week. That has been that week. And this is us saying, again, stay nerdy.